What's going on, our PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. As always, we are so thankful for you guys. We really hope that you guys have been enjoying all the episodes. This was a really good one. We got to have John Dresser, someone who has ran one of the largest forums in the world, and nonetheless, it is a paintball forum, PB Nation, for over a decade. So somebody who is an integral part of the paintball community. We're very thankful to have this man on and be able to hear his thoughts about the game and really just share some stories. What an awesome guy with so many amazing stories with a lot of big names that you guys are definitely going to recognize. So we think you're going to like it. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. You guys already know it. Transfuse keeps us incredibly hydrated. We love this stuff. We use it every single day. I've got Transfuse in my cup right now, my little Play the Game Yeti. I like the watermelon lime. It is my absolute favorite flavor. Seems that most of you guys do too. A lot of the listeners have responded back that that's their favorite flavor. But the Tropical Bliss, I think, is Tyler's favorite. And, Blue Raspberry hits some people a little differently. So they're all delicious, and they're all so good for you. Over 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. Vitamin C is so incredibly important for your immune system, especially in times like these. Just to compare to a packet of emergency, a regular emergency packet has 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Vitamin C has been proven over and over to shorten the duration of the common cold, help with respiratory illnesses, all the types of things that we need to be doing right now to help our bodies. Also has zinc. Zinc is another phenomenal vitamin to boost your immune system. And vitamin B. Vitamin B is great for your overall brain function, cognitive health. I really just can't say enough good things, and I haven't even gotten to the amazing electrolytes that are in it. Potassium, magnesium, sodium, all the stuff that you have in your typical Gatorades, just not the same amount of sugar. So again, guys, and girls, I cannot say enough good things about Transfuse. We love them, and we have awesome discounts for you. If you head over to translabs.com, that's translabs.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you will get 10% off. In addition to that, if you guys become a subscriber on Translabs, you will get an additional 11% off if you use code PLAYTHEGAME. So what this subscription is you can basically sign up for an auto ship if you want to get 1 or 2 boxes every single month, and you will get an additional 11% off. So you will get an extra $4 off of the already 10% off of a box. So it's just a fantastic deal. You can have your product automatically sent to you every single month. You'll be ready, hydrated, good to go. Look at it this way. If you cut out sodas and Gatorades and all these other unnecessary juices that are not doing anything for your overall health, replace it with Transfuse, you're going to live a better life. You're going to be boosted. You're going to have better immunity. You're going to be well hydrated, and it's going to taste pretty good. It's also a great way to support the show. We definitely thank you guys for supporting our sponsors. They are the lifeblood of our entire thing we have going here. So again, everybody, that's translabs.com, translabs.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. If you become a subscriber, also use code PLAYTHEGAME, and you'll get a full 21% off. It's a pretty fantastic deal. This episode is also brought to you by G2 Paintball. G2 Paintball is crushing it right now. They are a paintball athletics company that is designed to make you a better paintball athlete. They have been doing some in-person clinics and events, which Tyler Harmon, Brandon Unger, Victor Gamboa, and Rusty Glaze all put on out there in Arizona. It's amazing. They will be traveling with it as well. But if you are in the area or can get to the area, you definitely want to go to one of these. I will be working with them as well. I know Ryan Greenspan will be doing some work with G2. It's just an awesome organization that is designed to, again, make you a better paintball athlete, which is going to help you perform on the field in ways that you didn't know were possible. You really need to be able to maximize your athletic abilities with paintball-specific movements. That's the key. It's got to be paintball-specific. You need paintball-specific endurance, speed, quickness, agility, all sorts of stuff to move around the paintball field accordingly. You guys could head over to g2paintball.com, check them out, see if there's an event that you can make it to, and we hope to see you at one of them very soon. All right, everybody, without further ado, we're going to hop right in this amazing show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Yo, what is up, everybody? We got the one and only, the legendary John Dresser with us. John, thank you so much for coming on the show, bud. How you doing?
Very well. Thanks for having me.
Good, absolutely.
Of course, man.
So,
Yo.
yeah, absolutely, man. We're excited to have you on. This is, exciting. You've been in the game for so long, and I've watched you since I was younger in the game, and then you obviously have done a lot of stuff on the back end with the industry and helping boost paintball in those facets. But first of all, how's everything out there with you? Where exactly do you live at?
I live in St. Louis.
Okay. Shout out to St. Louis. There we go.
Right. Yeah. Opposite side of the country. Nice.
Yeah.
More the middle, son, but
Yeah.
about 4 hours south of Chicago.
There we go.
For your California geography there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything as
If
soon as
look
you cross
at it
the border.
on a map, it's definitely leaning to the right side. You know what I mean? It's not in
Yeah.
the middle by any means.
As soon as you leave California, everything's just way over there. So
I'm well aware.
Yeah. No, but how has everything been through COVID times? I know it's crazy. How is everything out there? Is it crazy as it is in like Arizona and California, or what's it like out there?
Everybody's taking it differently.
Yeah.
From person to person, from place to place, you can't tell people how to react to something that they've never seen before.
That's right. I know the president calls it the invisible enemy. It's super creepy when he says that, but it's true. It's like this invisible thing that we, I don't know. I can't see it, and God only knows what's going on with that whole thing. But it's been definitely a wild year. We're in August now, and it's been probably the longest 8 months of my life.
A little less traveling than usual.
Yeah, for sure.
A few less events.
Oh yeah, I know. It's brutal.
So,
yeah, it's just been crazy times.
I personally took a couple months off and just kind of let everything settle down. Local fields here closed for a little bit. They're now reopened. Some are better at social distancing than others. It is what it is. It's interesting to watch it all unfold, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. I'm looking forward to seeing events again, but I am cautiously optimistic.
Yes, and absolutely, safety is number one. We got to make sure we do the best we can to, keep things as safe as possible. That's the only thing that we can do moving forward with this. And, everybody, we are Americans, and everybody has their freedoms. And that's a beautiful thing as well. People can do whatever they want, but we definitely do need to look out for each other when it comes to paintball fields. And when we go to the fields, making sure that we really nurture that safety for everyone out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not just that, but being respectful of how other people are trying to be cautious.
Yeah.
Everybody is different. It is facing people differently. I know I have some high risk people in my family. Yes. So it's trying not to belittle other people just because they're being more or less safe. It's difficult, but it is what it is. And it's definitely provided new opportunities. I don't think you guys would be doing this without it.
That's right.
100%. Yeah.
It has. Yeah. And that's kind of how we chose to look at it, right? We were like, this is we can either wallow and be kind of lost at a time like this, or we can create, right? And we can create something powerful for the industry. And me and Marcelo, we've always wanted to do this. And we said, hey, let's do it, bud. And we started making it.
I'm impressed. You guys reached out to me early on in it. And honestly, I was happy to do a little something for it. I was happy to see you guys doing it. I am not a big podcast person. I am, funny enough, I'm not a big paintball video person. But somehow PB Nation has a YouTube channel that's huge.
The biggest.
Here, Instagram's huge. The YouTube channel, the forum. One of the biggest ever, actually. So that's pretty spectacular.
It is a very interesting animal, but same thing that due to COVID, I'm no longer an employee with PB Nation's parent company. They had some pretty big changes. Yeah. And so now as things have changed, I've been doing things different as well. Launched a little website called PB Retro,
nice.
Specifically to do some, I did a private label JT goggle with a local field here, Extreme. And so that was fun to do, but those sold out too fast. Whoa. So now looking for the next project.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
See?
that's what it's about exactly. Especially in times like this, man. You have two options. It's kind of sink or swim. So it's really cool to see a lot of different people get creative and follow some sort of, their entrepreneurial mindset. They're like, hey, let me just try to make something work. You have to. It's the only option. And I feel for the people that aren't able to find that right now or able to do that. There's a lot of people that don't know what to do. And it's definitely a bummer.
It's definitely interesting to watch how paintball is changing, and because it's an outside activity, because it's an activity you can social distance with. A lot of the fields I've talked to actually are having huge months. They're doing incredibly well.
Sure.
Some are having a couple of the best months they've ever had, especially here where it's so hot. Comparably, but this is the hottest months for St. Louis, and so usually they're down right now. Usually that business sinks off, and instead they're doing really well because people are very anxious to get out, very anxious to do activities that aren't indoors.
Totally.
And it's been interesting to watch, and it's been fun to play at different fields. St. Louis is a very paintball friendly town. There's 7 distinct different fields.
Wow.
Yeah, in just my area that are all relatively close driving distance, that all offer something different. And it's been amazing to see the capital improvements that a lot of those fields have done during this time.
That's so awesome, dude. It's great to hear that. And we've heard the similar type of things, as people are, despite the madness, like people need paintball. It's just point blank. People need this outlet. And we're in such a fortunate position with paintball. To where, like you said, we're outdoors, we're able to be safe in the parameters that we need to be in, and we can still have fun. It's great exercise, and it's no wonder that people are thriving right now, because we need this more than ever right now.
Especially with exercise, man. Paintball's been the only exercise I've gotten in a long time. So
and that's a really big one, especially for keeping a strong immune system, mental health, all sorts of stuff. And with gyms being closed, I don't know, what kind of phase are you guys in out there in St. Louis? What's open, what's not?
It's the Wild West, man. Everything's open.
Okay, wow. All right.
I love it. That's right.
You can go city to city and there are no rules, or there are lots of rules, or
That's
town
right.
to town.
Gotcha.
My kids are both in virtual learning. The school started off saying 5 days a week if you want it. Then a couple weeks later, like, you know what? How about just 2 days a week? And a couple weeks later, like, yeah, we're just going to do virtual learning. But other people in St. Louis or other kids are going 5 days a week.
Yeah, and that's common, like all across the country. It's the parameters are a little different, and it's a beautiful thing that thankfully we have the computer so that we could still be learning. Back in the day, if a virus hit, you were just like, all right, I'll see you guys when I see you. At least we have these ways of connecting with each other.
Yeah, and I mean, fortunate that you can be home, John, to be there with your kids as well, because that's an issue a lot of people are having as well.
For sure. I've worked from home since 2005.
Awesome.
So I'm a little more used to it than most, but we'll see. We'll see how things change.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, as we were talking, I was thinking of how back, like when I remembered seeing Tyler play for the first time, when I remembered seeing you play for the first time, Marcelo, because I didn't. Tyler, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to say 2003 Mardi Gras was your first event with Bob.
That was a rough event there, bud.
Yeah, you were like all of 5 feet tall. We had no idea you were going to be the tallest pro player in paintball.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm a skyscraper out there.
That's funny, dude.
With Marcelo, I want to say I first saw you in a Florida practice of all things with Aftermath.
Yeah, they went out there a lot.
Maybe. Yeah. Would this maybe be 2008?
Oh, no.
Or, sorry, 2009.
No, long before that, when it was, I want to say.
Oh, wow. Maybe. So we were divisional. We were kids.
Oh, yes.
Then. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. 100%.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah.
This is long sleeve shirts, divisional.
2005.
Yeah. I want to say it was like really early 2005 before the season started.
Oh, my goodness. That's right.
You actually jumped in on with some other team, and we were at the end of your practice. Whoa. And we're playing around and promptly ran to our Doritos or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Man, I
Do
was
you?
I was just a little kid.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
That's
completely.
fantastic.
Like, I think that
Yeah.
afterwards we're yelling at each other about the 14-year-old or something.
Yep.
I was 13.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
What a
man, that's
time, man.
amazing. Hey, John, do you have one of those jerseys in your collection?
Which ones?
An aftermath one of those
Oh, of
old ones?
course.
Yeah.
Not that old. Not
Yeah.
even close to that old. So
Yeah.
it's actually funny that like you've got the PB Nation or the PBN logo behind you.
Yeah.
Lots of people. I've been playing. I want to say this year it'll be 30 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
So
That's awesome.
there have been lots of phases in that. Things change. So people know me from very specific times during that. So a lot of
Yeah.
people know me through PB Nation, or I even was involved with PB Nation for years before I started doing these the YouTube videos, and then a whole new wave of people knew who I was. Before then, I was pretty undercover.
Yeah.
It worked out really well for a while, and
Yeah.
then but before that, I mean, I played locally, and then played divisionally, and then team turned pro. Ended up playing divisionally again for years. So there've been all these different phases that where I
Yeah.
played. With Tyler, ran into you again at the UWLs for a
That's
little
right.
bit.
Those
You're-
are great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tyler was leading Bob Long's guys
Mhm.
to I think they were undefeated for years.
That's right. Yeah, we went on a good run there for the 10-man. Those are some of the best memories I have playing with Bob Long out there in the woods. And those are the last times that I like played events with him. And then, since then I've played with a lot of different organizations and have been so happy and blessed and so grateful to be on Dynasty for so long now. But yeah, man, those memories of running in the woods with Bob having a machine gun, just mowing the brush down. It was crazy out there.
So
Bob's guns back then were no joke.
Oh, especially in the
no.
woods.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
So
Yeah.
for people that don't know, the UWL was the ultimate woods ball league.
Yeah.
It was 10-man in the woods. You played 30-minute games.
Yep.
You did like 2 insertions. Like after 10 minutes, you could come back in, and then after another 10 minutes, you could come back in.
Yeah.
One guy got to play with a full auto gun.
That was Bob.
That was obviously Bob. And then the rest of us had to have guns that were capped. Were they capped at 10?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think 10. Yep.
And then one poor son of a bitch had to play with a pump gun.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so Vicious was going to put together a 10-man team. They were pro at the time, and they hadn't played any UWLs, and a lot of their guys had never even played in the woods.
Yeah.
So Paulie was in charge of the team still at the time, and he called me up. He's like, "You want to play UWL with us?" I was like, "Yeah, it sounds fun. We should pretty much mop up." It took me a minute to realize I was going to be the poor son of a bitch with the pump gun.
Oh no.
That was you. Oh,
That
boy.
was definitely me.
Yeah.
And so, then it wasn't until I got there that I realized several of their guys had never played in the woods.
Oh, whoa.
We had a great paintball players,
Of course. It's just a different ball game out there in the woods, man.
but we had guys like Trevor Rezer, who plays with Impact now, who hadn't played in the woods. Like literally, they walked out there and they were completely lost.
Yep.
And then all the teams wanted to come and talk trash to them. No airball bunkers out here, boy.
Yeah.
And so they
Oh,
had
that's
to
funny.
front a little bit. We'll be fine. But then they
Yeah.
turn around and be like, seriously,
Yeah.
where do I go? Where are they going to be? What? They're behind us. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah, it was a crazy format. It was like Call of Duty Domination, where you had the 4 flags, and you would
Yep.
have your base flag on each side that you immediately would flip that flag to your color when you run by, and then it was the side flags. There's one on the left, one on the right, and you just duke it out to get those flags and make it on your color. It was crazy.
It was absolutely crazy. And needless to say, playing in the woods against former pro players, everybody followed the rules, called their
Yeah.
hits, left
Yeah.
immediately. You definitely did not have to shoot people into submission.
That's right.
In fact, I think Tyler was the first person to actually shoot me in that first event. So the first event we played,
Yeah.
I played with Vicious, was in
I
want to say
remember that one.
Mesquite.
Yeah, that's right. And me and Bear DeGidio were actually on the team together. Super funny stories with him as well. It was crazy times out there.
Oh,
What
I
year
remember
is
Bob
this?
yelling at Bear, just letting him have it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Just just
Yeah.
brutal.
I know.
But
I forget what year. Do you remember what year that was, John?
2010-ish.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
So I'd stopped playing competitively at the beginning of 2008. So I'd
Yeah.
had taken a couple years. I'd played 1 or 2 UWLs, and then was brought in as a pretend expert to play with Vicious. Literally explaining the rules to them in the night before. I was like, no, it's going to be a flag on the 50.
Yeah.
They're like, what? And I was like, one guy gets to leave early. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when we get there and actually walk the field, this is literally the most terrifying field I've ever seen.
It was crazy thick.
It was not just
Crazy.
thick. There were these low trees that had all grown together that Tom had taken chainsaws and cut literal tunnels through. And when you went through these tunnels, it got dark.
Oh yeah.
They were so thick, it got dark. And here I am with this pump gun in the sand going through these dark tunnels, praying to God I do not find Rodney Squires with his full auto gun or Bob Long with his full auto gun, literally just cutting people in half.
It was, yeah. When you ran into that heavy gunner, you knew it. You're like, oh boy, we're in trouble here.
We had our heavy gunner. Some of the time was Todd Martinez. He'd play with us and play heavy gunner. And at one time,
Cash Money.
Yeah. One time, Cash Money went and got a couple extra pods, came back, didn't know how far I'd gone up the field, and decided my bunker just explodes with paint. And I literally crawled backwards out of it, yelling, hoping to God he could hear me over that machine gun.
Yeah, bro, it's me.
It's a whole different strategy in the woods, no matter how good of a professional player you are, especially the big games, the different woods ball formats, and all of the rules make a big difference. And the strategy is so different that you need somebody that knows what they're doing to kind of guide the ship.
And that's kind of one of the reasons I think I faded away from X-Ball and from 7-Man is that it felt like I'd played it before. Mm-hmm. It felt similar. It took them a while to start changing bunkers, to start changing enough of things. And that's one of the things that I like about paintball is there's so many different ways to play.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is so amazing about paintball. Like you got 5-man, 10-man. You can go huge, large games, 100 on 100, the 1-man. There's just so many different ways to have fun with the game.
100%. So actually, John, what we really like to do is get into the backstory. How'd you get into paintball? What was your first time playing? Because you said 30 years ago. Were you out there marking cattle with the rest of the guys?
Settle down, youngin. So APG had been around for a while. I remember looking through APG magazines literally a year before I played.
Wow. Where'd you find this magazine?
My older brother had it. Then he disappeared one day, came back with 2 PGPs and 0 masks.
Oh no.
And then the first thing he did is wanted to demonstrate how fun it was to shoot these things, and literally shot a hole right through a plastic box.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Done. There's no way. That looked like fun. It was so loud. Shot it inside, didn't break on the box, literally just went right through and broke on the wall behind it.
Dang.
So my first paintball experience was literally just walking around our neighborhood with him. Think you can hit that? Oh, you missed it. Shoot it again.
That's so
cool.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thankfully didn't get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Weren't dumb enough to shoot guns at each other.
There you go.
And it took me, I want to say it was the following year that he'd gone out to California, started playing more regularly with my uncle.
Nice.
My uncle had played for years. Mm-hmm. Then he came home and wanted to reconnect with some of his friends that played. And I took him and went and played. It was December. It was cold.
Yeah.
It was they did the true paintball. Let's make things fair. So all the young guys that haven't played before, you play on that team, and all the old guys that have played before will play on this team.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck. And thankfully, it was all stock class. Pump guns and even first semis were out at that point. Oh. But the field I played at once a month would do all stock class. So it was the green Splatmaster guns that and then literally push the back in, the ones that Marty Bush very famously talks about in Push, I think.
That's right. I remember that. And then is your uncle somebody that we would know in the industry? Since
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. He played with a local team and was enjoyed it, and but didn't play I don't think he ever played a tournament. Didn't play
Okay.
competitively,
Yeah.
but just enjoyed it.
Of course.
So like most people that play.
Most people,
Of course. Yeah.
So first time out, like playing stock class, I shot one person. He was clearly running away, thankfully on the other team. But that's not the moment that hooked me. And this is the thing that I always like to ask people when they play is what was the moment that you knew I'm going to do this more?
Yeah.
What was the moment that hooked you? And it was, I remember sneaking to their side. Who knows how? I'm sure I was lost, pulling a flag. And then like a couple different times, and one of the times returning it and literally just running right by the bad guys.
Whoa.
Just in my, got to go hang this. That didn't work. And then a second time bringing the flag back, and one of my brother's friends being like, stop, like literally 20 feet away from the flag station to hang it. Cause I guess we were playing a 2-flag game, and literally goes up and tags out a player, doesn't shoot him, just goes and surrenders him. Poor guy falls over, scared out of his mind, who was underneath our flag station, hang it. And I was like, just hung the flag. I just won the game.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
And that stuck with me for years.
Yeah.
So your turn.
Let's hear it, Marshy.
Golf. It's like in golf, you get that one really good hit throughout the whole day, and you're hooked.
Marcel is hooked on golf. He's the golf fanatic.
I love it. I have about 70 terrible shots and like 2 good ones throughout the day. It keeps me coming back. No, it's with paintball though. It was my very first time that I actually went to a paintball field. Not the first time I shot a paintball gun, which was with my dad in our backyard. Same thing. No masks. We just had a little Stingray Talon from Walmart, and it was, hey, can you hit that? Shoot at it, miss it, hit it, whatever, on to the next. The first time I went out to play, gosh, I was 9 years old. So a long time ago, 21 years ago. And I don't remember one moment that stuck out from that day other than when we originally went to play. My dad had no intention of playing. He was just watching from the sidelines. And he says that he got shot watching me play in the woods. And he was like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. And so he goes, I got to rent a gun and go out and protect my son. And so he rented a gun, and we played the whole day and just had a blast. I just remember the car ride home, us so stoked on the game of paintball. And we decided that day that we're going to play every Saturday. It became a father-son thing. So that first experience, it was really just the whole experience, to drive all the way down to Borderland. I remember we stopped at a little deli, got lunches, had our cooler. It was just an event, it was a full experience that became the best thing that could have happened to our relationship. It's what has made us so close. So just that entire day, I mean, we were just totally hooked. I didn't have any moments of crawling down, grabbing the flag. I was a super scared little kid, just like hiding in the back and trying to do my best.
I was a good 7 years older than you, I want to say. The first time I played, I think I was 16. Okay. I think I could drive.
There we go.
Nice.
And then, but I remember, Tyler, you played with your dad as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that's how I got involved. My dad's an ex Army Ranger, like Special Forces officer, airborne infantry guy. So he was all into it. And my uncle actually, who first got me into it, and he took me out to this in the valley. I live in Northern California, and it's all agriculture. And there was like this old abandoned slaughterhouse that we went out to for the first time, and it was crazy. And we were running in and out of this slaughterhouse, and it's 2 levels, and then you had like this whole wooded area right next to it, so you could go out into the wooded area and then come back into the building. So that was super thrilling for me, and I was juiced. I was scared, and didn't know how to hold my gun, didn't know any techniques, just running around and pelting paintballs around. And then growing up in Modesto, I was fortunate enough to have Extreme Paintball out there with Rich Telford and his camp there, and the slaughterhouse and playing some more woods ball was great. As soon as I found that field and started playing, like I was watching people playing hyperball. And then when I was 10 years old or 11 years old is when they first had the air ball with the tubes coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
So that was first coming, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. It's like, I have a really geometrical mind. I'm like really math oriented, and so I love the geometry of the fields and the equal opportunity. And from then on, man, I never looked back, and I haven't looked back in over, about 20 years now. But I just started hitting it hard and playing as much of those little 3-man events out there as I possibly could. And
Was
then
that
I got
Twisted?
Yeah, that was Twisted. We had Twisted Factory, and Twisted Kids is the team that I came up on, was Twisted Kids. Yeah.
Okay, so what was if you were in Northern California, what was Twisted's relationship with Rob Scott?
Yeah, it was huge. My dad and Rob Scott were in business together, and they were making a gun called the Dragon, I think.
Dude,
and
it's
it
meant
had
to be.
all twisted paintball part, or it was the Mongoose, the Twisted Mongoose.
I remember that gun. Yeah,
the Twisted
do remember
Mongoose was actually, that was like a twisted gun that that we worked with National Paintball on in a way, and they acquired that and were able to do really well on that gun from what I saw, And my dad was like going over to Asia all the time and working with Rob Scott, and they were building all these twisted products. And then that's where I got my roots, is in that whole camp. And yeah, it was crazy.
So I knew Rob.
Yeah.
Like I remember he went from Twisted and he played on the Iron Men.
That's right.
Even though he had mobility issues.
His hip. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
He has a hip that's bad, but he played with Saransky, played with the when the Iron Men were a very respectable team. And
a beast. Rob Scott is such a beast for that. He had seriously, and he's got a fighter's mentality. He actually owns a boxing gyms. Out in Utah. Yep. And so he's doing really well for himself. And what a guy, man. Thank you, Rob Scott, for everything he did for my career too, man. He brought me up. The Telford camp, everybody in Twisted, super grateful for being raised in that environment.
So a dozen years later, a friend of mine moved to Utah and started playing again.
Nice.
And so in 2015, when they were starting up the NXL, my friend called me up. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna play NXL," and I was like, "Sounds like fun. Enjoy." Yeah. He's like, "No, we're gonna play semi-pro." I'm like, "You guys are crazy. That's a terrible plan." I was like, "Start as low as you can." They're like, "No. We put you on the roster." I'm like, "What?" It's like, I don't even play. I was like, I play fun and goofing off paintball.
Yeah.
I don't play. Don't play competitively anymore. Haven't practiced. Haven't seen the field layout at all.
But you used to be on those fields, those big dog fields. You played at the top level.
But I get tricked, just straight up tricked by my friend. He hits me with aside from your ego, what reason would you not play with us?
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious here? And so
there's so many reasons. Let me just count these off for you real quick.
So Rob Scott is doing a Twisted team.
Oh, no way. Whoa.
With my friend. And so I come out and play with them.
Yeah.
And the first point, this is how well organized they are, that we all walk on the field and the snakes on the left side, we literally don't have a first game plan. They all take the rec ball 2 steps right game. And all of a sudden I'm the guy furthest left. So I'm the snake one.
Go get it, buddy.
Are you serious?
With a pump. They gave you a pump too.
Yeah. Thankfully this time armed with regulation equipment.
Yeah.
But so a dozen years after you did, 13, 14 years after you did, I got my one chance and played with Twisted.
Dude, that is awesome.
How'd you guys do?
Not so great. About as expected. They had some good players, but they definitely were trying to play, and they knew it. They were trying to play up a couple divisions.
They had some good games. I actually remember that time. It was cool to see, because I was raised in that camp, and then I saw that little rebirth of it happen there. It was like the Revolution, or I forget the name of the team that you played on there. That team name, was it just Twisted?
I think we played as Twisted.
Okay, yeah, because I know they had like Twisted Revolution at one time.
Maybe there might have been a second part to it, but
yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, we're the Twisted Brotherhood right here. Let's go.
Back to UWL. I'm pretty sure that you're the one that shot me in that very first UWL game I played. Because, like I said, these guys weren't used to it. Now it's like, Tyler's literally on the other side of this thing. I'm going to go left. You're going to go right. One of us is going to shoot him in the back. I went left.
Good
you
luck,
blew
buddy.
me out of my shoes with my pump gun. I came back and the guy's still sitting on the other side. And I was like, this is going to be a long weekend.
Dude, the UWO was crazy. It was just a hunt fest, because most of the time I would go like out off the break first and get that 10-second jump.
Yeah.
And you would go either heads up with your guy, and be in a straight up battle right off the break, or you would, get the flag and then here comes a whole platoon of dudes at you. It's just crazy.
You were that
Yeah.
guy with Dynasty too when we played the
Yeah.
UWLT. I remember that.
Yep. Got those long legs.
Drew Templeton was our scout that
Yeah.
first event.
Yeah. Shout out to Drew.
Yeah, but no, it was, I remember we drew Bob Long our first game,
Mhm.
and I was like, this is no good. And Tom's like, that's a good first draw. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
He's like, well, because you're never going to beat them, so you might as well get practice. It's like, thanks, Tom. I
Dude.
appreciate that.
We had the legends out there. We had a solid squadron. I think Dave Baines was on the team. We had, I think Greg Sewers, Zach Long, obviously. There was a lot of fun people. Bear DeGidio was on the team a couple times there. We actually went on a tear. Bear, we got like a few championships together, so that was fun.
Shout out to Bear. He actually just sent me some Hungry Bear candy. He's got those watermelon Sour Patch things. I don't know if you saw those. They're absolutely dynamite. Shout out to the Hungry Bear company.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting on my order. Those things look delicious. So John, I want to dip back into like the grassroots again.
Please.
You got your start, and then how did the tournament aspect start for you?
I played one Sunday a month religiously for a year because that was their stock class day.
Okay.
And then after a year, I played, or close to a year. And then I tried renting again. The first gun I rented didn't even function.
Yeah.
Like I remember literally getting behind someone, being like, "You're getting it." Click. Nothing.
It's not one of those EMEX like today's day and age or something.
It's a completely different world. The EMEX is a great example. The EMEX pound for pound is possibly the best gun ever invented.
I mean, it's crazy what they've done with that thing.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
$200 gun, and now guys like Simon from Inception is making these body kits, so you can actually have a metal. You can turn it into a metal gun, put a better trigger on it. Deadly Wind's got a different valve for it. You can literally spend more than twice the value of the gun, but it's incredible. Like, you can shoot the gun stock, and honestly, with a better barrel on it, it's incredible.
Totally
Unbelievable. So it's interesting to see. You're right that how things have changed.
Oh man,
because the first gun I played with was a Splatmaster. The first gun I owned was a pump gun.
Yeah,
I owned a Phantom pump gun.
Nice.
And the first tournament I played was a local 3-man.
Yep.
And we get there and we find out like the velocity. You have to turn down your velocity because it's a close. It's the first speedball court I ever played on.
Whoa.
So they want everybody to shoot 250. Our guns did not shoot 250. Maybe it was 260.
You're lobbing them out there.
Oh, literally, like we'd be walking on in a panic, trying to get guns past the chronograph.
And what year was this in when you started doing these 3-mans?
I want to say the first 3-man I played in was 92.
Awesome.
Maybe early 93.
Yeah.
And then played a 5-man and started playing those, and then played a 5-man circuit called the MSPA, the Mid-South Paintball Association.
There we go.
Playing, that was a team, I want to say, a team called, I think the Darksiders, the Ridge Runners. Those were the guys that dominated those. It was just complete woods ball guys with automags and autocockers.
Nice.
At that point, I think I'd upgraded to my sweet F1 Illustrator.
The F1, it's back, dude. Let's go. Yeah, that's what we our forces. The Field 1 force, the F1. So it's back alive here.
Yeah, it is back now.
Yeah,
a little different.
Yeah, a little different. Yeah, way better than ever.
So, and then after that, upgraded to a mini mag, to an Airgun Designs gun. And then took off from there. Like, started figuring out how to play a little bit. I wasn't slow back then. I played a lot of soccer, and just like now, every team's looking for somebody that's not slow.
That's it, dude. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Yeah.
And so, but no, it was an amazing amount of fun. The field then was Adventure Games in Tennessee, and Splatters in Tennessee, and both of those are long gone.
Yeah.
But still fun fields where I cut my teeth and where I started to learn how to play.
And how long was that drive for you to get out to those fields?
Not that far. Those were both within half an hour, basically.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Of me. One was in, I lived in a small town called Jackson, Tennessee. and I couldn't tell you what town Splatters was in, but it was close by, and Adventure Games was in Humboldt, Tennessee. And I ended up, when I went to college, I'd come back and I'd run the Adventure Games field for years.
Yeah.
And that's how I paid to play for a lot of it. And that's how I found people to play. And basically the guys I played rec ball with were the guys I went and played tournaments with.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that's changed a lot in paintball, that it used to be that you could bring a friend and they'd come out and play with you, and you'd play side by side. You'd play in the woods. You had no idea that you were terrible. You had no idea that they were terrible. But with tournaments going to airball and everything else, it's very obvious if you're not if you're not doing well. Not just that, but you have an audience part of the time, so people see that you're not doing well. So it's changed that dynamic a lot, that people don't bring their friends out to play like they used to. One of the guys on my team was a bartender, and he was a paintball evangelist. Every weekend he would go out and he would at his work, he would convince people all night long every weekend to come play paintball with him.
That's the best place to do it, at the bar when they got a couple in them.
For sure. For sure.
It still blows my mind when you do talk to people and they tell me that their first time playing is on an airball field. I feel like that's relatable to if it's your first time snowboarding or skiing and you go down a black diamond. Like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're not riding straight to the top of the mountain and then trying to go down. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it is better for players to start out on a more conceptual type of field.
Not just that, but I think paintball fields have gotten very small over the years. That the first fields I played at, you could sneak around. Granted, you might be sneaking around in your own back corner if you were a little directionally challenged, but at least you were alive in the game. Your heart's beating. You're having fun. You know you're being hunted. You think you might be hunting the other guy. You might be incredibly mistaken.
Totally.
But a lot of fields have lost those fields that you can sneak around on. My local fields, for the most part, people are shooting almost instantly. I remember reading something when I was a kid, like there was a paintball manual, and one of their first tips for your paintball field was, if people aren't shooting their guns in the first minute or two, your field is too big.
Wow.
They want people to sell paint too,
Well, they wanted people to sell paint, but that shows you how big those fields were. People were actually moving around for seconds or even minutes before engaging anyone. And that just puts somebody in the game for a minute, figuring it out a little bit. Before they're like, they're all around me. I'm terrified.
I love that about, the scenario side and the recreational, the woods ball, man. I highly encourage you, if you've only played just speedball, go play some fun woods ball and just run around in the wild. It's great.
It's one of the things I have PB Nation to thank for, that I'd played a couple big games. I'd played obviously in the woods when I started, but I hadn't played anything but airball for years. When I joined PB Nation in 2007, I want to say 2006. I hadn't played anything but airball, and they had a meetup at a big game at Sherwood Forest. And I literally stood up at a friend's wedding the day before, then drove out to that one bright and early.
There we go.
I didn't realize how regimented.
We're really hungover.
I didn't realize how regimented big games were. That how serious people took it. So I literally just threw on I had an old Far Side tie-dye jersey from when they won in 97. So it's a 10-year-old jersey or something. I just walked on the field, and then I got to the base and I was like, cool, I'm playing. And they're like, no, you're not playing. You need an ID card. You need this. Like, they gave me this list. I was like, it'll be fine. And they got upset, and I name dropped everybody I could think of because I knew the owner of the field, and literally just walked past them. It's got tape from someone else. Looking back on it, I'm surprised they didn't tackle me.
For sure.
Big games are serious business.
It is for sure.
But had a lot of fun. I was like, this is ridiculous.
It
is. Sherwood Forest it was the original home of Aftershock way back in the day. So it's close to Chicago. It's owned by a guy named Joe Stayback, who used to own a team called Thunderstruck.
Nice.
That was a divisional team for a long time, a very competitive team. But he literally has taken tens of thousands of railroad ties and built castles, built forts, built.
Wow.
I used to tease him that anytime he got shot on his own field, he'd build this whole structure there to make sure it never happened again.
Yeah.
And it's literally one of the most built up fields in the world.
That's awesome.
And so it was neat to see it because that was one of the first fields I'd practiced with Farside 10 years earlier.
Wow.
And so it was neat to go back and play a big game. And it took me a couple big games to realize that it's not the whole thing that really has to capture you. It's these moments.
Mhm.
Like at one point, again, at Sherwood Forest, there was a wooden ramp, and I had cleats on. And so there were two guys at the bottom of this ramp, and I could hear their full auto Tipmans just blazing, just something shooting way faster than guns should shoot these days.
Tell me
And I
if
had
John Wick slid down that thing.
Oh God, no. I was terrified. And so here I am. I've been playing paintball 20 years at this point. I have an autococker and I watch the first ball roll out the barrel and just go down this ramp, go ding, ding, ding. My cleats can't, because there's paint on it. So I'm sliding down slowly on my feet.
Yeah.
Just thinking, okay, now I have to shoot a blank shot.
Sliding.
And I have to choose when I get to the bottom of this ramp. It's two walls. I have to shoot either the guy on the left or the guy on the right.
Yeah.
But I have to shoot a blank shot, then shoot a ball, then shoot another ball at the other guy, and then hope to God neither one of these guys cheats me and just doesn't blow my head clean off with their full auto gun that sounds like it's shooting 320.
Oh boy.
And so at that moment, it was much like years later in Mesquite, Nevada, playing UWL. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you how long it'd been since I'd been literally terrified playing paintball. And it was a blast. And it was one of those moments that thankfully I got to realize in the moment.
Yeah.
I was like, I am having all sorts of fun.
Yeah, man. And God bless like Tim Montresor. God bless everybody who's pioneered these ways of being able to keep this type of style of paintball alive for the community, because it's so huge. It's fundamental to the experience of paintball. And we cannot just have tournament. We need to have every type of paintball imaginable. We have to have as much paintball as possible. We need to have, just as many games going as we can.
And embrace those different kinds. It's impossible. Tim did something that nobody else did with ICC, but you got to give credit to Tom Cole. Tom ran 10-man events. He ran UWL. He bought the SPPL. He's doing the NXL mechanical ICPL now. Tom definitely kept it alive. Credit to the Fight Club guys who had a couple 10-man events who just brought it back to old school 10-man. And then Tim just took it to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I played my first big game. Obviously, when I first started paintball, we didn't have airball at that time. You know, back in '99, airball wasn't even a thing yet. They had the speedball concept fields. That was like the fast version. But, I got away from that for a long time. For many years, I was so committed and focused only on playing tournament style paintball, where it's traditional X ball. And I thought this is the way forward and it's the only way forward. But I was so naive to thinking that. And in the last few years, I've really just fallen completely in love with the whole game of paintball again. Last year, I played my first big game out in Wisconsin, and I had so much fun. They nominated me to be the general, which it sounds cool, but it's actually the lamest job because you're supposed to sit in the little tower with a walkie-talkie. Like halfway through, I was like, I'm done giving orders. I'm going to go out and play. I want to go shoot people.
The trick is to be the figurehead when they get you into that. You find somebody else that's good at it, that wants to do it. You're like, I'm like Ronald McDonald. I don't actually manage the money. That's your job. I'm just going to go out there and be the face.
Totally, for sure. But I had so much fun with it. We had like 75 on 75.
Whose field was that?
Outdoor Adventures. Up in Appleton. Amazing. Okay. Shout out to the Burnsides, Amy and Richard Burnside. They're amazing. I go out there at least once a year to do a clinic. They have an awesome facility and they have a great field there as well.
We're going to have to do some PTG schools out there, huh?
Yes, absolutely. We do. 100%. Yeah. You're going to Wisconsin pretty soon.
I'll be out at a competitive edge out there in that area. Yep.
Nice. Yeah. But yeah, so it was my first experience with the, they every 15 minutes they would change the slapstick that you have to go and hit. And then if it's on your color, like you have to hold it down for a while. We got ourselves in some really bad situations where we'd hit the slapstick, everybody dies around us. And I'm like, okay, I hear about 30 people coming and there's like 2 of us, you're like running out of air sometimes. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun. There's so much going on. And for like just the pure raw joy of the game. I mean, I'm all in. Tyler and I talk about it all the time, but all in on pushing all formats of paintball because there's players that don't like tournament paintball, and I get that. And I actually think the regular in the woods or concept fields, that stuff's probably more appealing to majority of the general public. So it's
interesting that there's all these different ways to play, right?
Yeah.
There's mag fed, pump, stock class. But it's crazy how we forget about some of them.
I know, right?
We haven't played. Nobody's really played like a 7-man tournament with uncapped.
Uncapped.
That was the most fun ever because I felt like I was really good at like getting the trigger going. I have really good trigger speed, so I had like a little advantage.
I've always thought that paintball should be semi-automatic, and it should be like as fast as you can shoot should be a skill.
But that's it's like we follow these trends, right?
Yeah.
So now nobody's played an event like that.
Totally.
And all the time people say, "Oh, that was the golden age," or "That was when it was more fun." It's like, host an event.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, shout out to HK though. HK did just put a little 7-man on.
Yeah.
Granted, it wasn't uncapped. I don't think. I think it was like 13 balls a second, semi-automatic. But
still,
it was super cool.
Yeah, it's doing something different. Same thing with HK and Go Sports doing these one-on-one events.
Exactly.
Years ago, there was that Vegas 3-man that we did. But no, it's fun to see all of these different ways to play. And it's one of the big advantages of paintball that we don't push.
Yeah, I agree.
That they're always all these, as soon as it's not fresh, that's on us.
That's right.
I agree. I totally agree.
That we can find little ways to tweak it, to enjoy it, to fall in love with it all over again. One of the things that's been bugging me recently is like we just talked about. So my first moment in paintball where I was hooked was grabbing a flag.
Yeah.
Well, I go to these fields now all the time where they play basically elimination every time.
Yeah.
As soon as the last guy shot, they're like, game over, barrel plugs, keep your masks on, walk. Instead of us playing a game that involves paintball guns, we're playing a game that is the paintball gun.
Yeah.
It's all about shooting people out. I think a lot of fields have gotten a little lax in the industry in general. When's the last time somebody came up with a new game that was different, that they tried to push at a local field, where they tried to mix up how people were playing, where they tried to get people, especially the first time you play, you're not great shooting that gun.
Yeah.
Totally. You're not accurate with it. You don't know how far away, you don't know when to start shooting. All of it's new, right? Yeah. So finding ways to make people actually think and play and use other skill sets.
You might be able to run and grab that flag,
Might be dumb enough to do that, like I was.
I love that though, but that's such an amazing story, and you're right, man. We need all the little gimmicky things that we can get to make it as interesting as possible.
And it's not necessarily a gimmick thing. It's something that that first guy when he plays, you got to get his brain going. And not just that, but it generates these cooler stories. When he comes out and he goes and tells his friends, I was robbing the bank. I had this big bag of money. You were doing what?
Yeah.
It gets people interested and involved. Like I said, it makes their lies better that they tell later.
Yeah.
It's the first, like when I started playing paintball, when you went to a field, one of the things you did is you played different games over the course of the day.
Yeah.
You played a flag game. You played a center flag game. You played Protect the President or some other Terminator kind of games. And some of them were ridiculous and deserve to go away. Yeah. Some of them make sense. Some of them you obviously have to have the right number of people to do. Yeah. But I think we've lost a lot of that over the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah, I know at Extreme Paintball, we would be playing all types of different games like how you're talking about there. Like Rich has those grassroots in the game, and, he's been in this industry for a long time. I don't even know how long, but even longer. I saw him when I was 11. That was 20 years ago, and he was in it. That was when he was pro on Ironman and stuff like that.
So I have a good memory of those guys.
Yeah, let's hear that.
In the mid 90s, I went and visited a cousin in California.
Yeah.
And I played tournaments at that point, but I'd never played national tournaments or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so went out to the local paintball store, and the guy behind the counter was O Pollock.
Oh, wow.
And I knew who O was, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. This guy plays for Bob Long's Ironman.
Yeah.
I was like, that's neat. So I'd gone into the store just to find a field. I was like, hey, I want to play this weekend, but I don't want to beat up on kids.
Good for you, dude.
Is there like a local practice I can jump in on or something? And he's like, 100%. I was like, cool. He's like, meet in this parking lot. We'll all drive out to the field. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Whoa.
I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then he's like, paint will be this. And it was paint cheaper than I'd ever paid in my life. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we get out and it's woods ball. I'm like, okay, that's okay. No big deal. The only jersey I had was a bright jersey though. Well, O's there as well. O's going to play. And I was like, that's pretty cool. O's going to play with these local kids. No. He invited me out to Bob Long Ironman practice.
Oh boy, you're in it.
And I was like, and I played with the second team. There was a Bob Long's Ironman too. I played in one of O's plaid jerseys, but played against Bob, played against Weasel, played against Rich, played against all these guys that I knew of, but had never played with. Because in the middle of Tennessee, you don't exactly get to play against current pros, much less the pros that at the time I think were winning the.
That's right.
The league.
That's right.
So
that's what a story, dude. That's crazy. So you show up and they're like, oh, by the way, you're playing the best team in the world. Good luck out there.
Well, and not just that, but it was fun. Like after each game, like the Ironman 2 would all sit down and be like, okay, like this guy did good. And this guy, and they'd like always like, okay, who was the idiot that like went up and bunkered him? And that was me. And like, never mind. Yeah. And they just kind of,
we'll let it slide.
Yeah, no. Well, it was like a couple times I think they were going to give me praise, but it was worked both ways. It was like it didn't matter what I did. I didn't count.
Yeah.
But it was this neat experience. And I think it's one of the reasons later now, we were talking about how I've gotten into different parts of paintball over the years. One of the ways some people know me now is I've been collecting paintball jerseys for years.
That's right. Man, and do you have a collection? Holy moly. Yeah, so where can people see your collection so that they know where to find this?
I hide that just so people think I'm sane. I don't need to show all of them off in one place and for people to realize the depths of my crazy.
How many jerseys do you have?
Let's not get into that.
Dude, come on. I need to know. We got to know. How.
Real quick, for our YouTubers, you could already tell if you go and check out the YouTube right behind John, he's got 3 awesome plaques of some old school guns. I see some other guns over your right shoulder. Like, man, and for people that might not know you, John, because you do kind of as popular as you are in a way, you also are kind of behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I very much try and hide.
Yeah, but I mean, you are a legend in the game, which is why Tyler and I wanted to have you on. You have helped run one of the largest sports forums in the world, not just paintball. If I remember correctly, PB Nation back in the mid 2000s was recognized as one of the largest sports forums in the world out of any sport.
Not just that, it was one of the largest forums at one point. It's nuts.
And totally. So
like everything, things evolve, right?
Yes.
So before social media, we had MySpace and we had PB Nation.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then for years I saw Facebook as kind of the enemy. It took me a long time to realize that, Facebook is just another way that we can feed the site. YouTube's another way we can feed the site. Instagram's another way we can feed the site. And so I grew those to be these big channels.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's dig into PB Nation a little bit here. And then I kind of want to dip back into your pro story and talk about you playing in the game as well. Let's dig into PB Nation. How did you get your roots in PB Nation and how did that thing start? You were with them for quite a while, right?
For quite a while.
And real quick, sorry, just to add on, let's also, like, if you do know, I'm sure you do, how PB Nation even started in the first place and then how you got with them, you know?
Yeah.
So PB Nation started with a couple kids in high school. One kid in particular, Tony Riker. He basically went home on Christmas vacation, started a forum so he could go back to school and tell kids I started a forum.
No way.
It crashed. He lost all the information.
Oh.
He started it back up a couple months later. Yeah. He basically borrowed his dad's credit card and got it rolling. He had a server in his bedroom at one point.
Attaboy.
He enlisted another guy named Kyle who was a programmer already. And between Kyle and Tony, they were the cornerstones of PB Nation for years.
Okay.
But they did not necessarily have the business acumen. They'd get sponsored by, like WDP would pay them with an angel for ads. And they'd be like, well, I can sell this and make money and pay bills, or I can go play with it.
Yeah.
So what are they going to go do? They're going to go play with it.
I got the best gun in the game.
Yep. And so they had a blast. After a little bit, they involved Tony's dad, Ed, and Ed bought them out and basically employed them.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And so they had real jobs running this paintball forum.
Wow.
And developing this paintball forum. And that's when he found other ways to monetize the site. And it actually was this groundbreaking website for years, not just within paintball.
Yeah.
No, but especially in paintball, because PB Nation, especially, back when we started, PB Nation was all week long.
Yeah.
You're on PB Nation, like searching the forums. It was a center of connectivity.
Both of your dads were on PB Nation.
Yeah. I think my dad got banned a couple times. He started a lot of fights. I was like, Dad,
he definitely did.
I was like, God, I when I turned pro with
this
the Iron
is great.
Man, dude,
this is amazing.
When I turned pro for the Iron Man, all of a sudden I would get this message from someone, dude, what is your dad's problem? What are you talking about? And then I would go look on the forum, and he would be in a 2-page argument with some new player, that's talking about what gun's better. I'm like, Dad, you can't do that. You're
with his own name.
Exactly. No, he openly advertised it. He would basically sign it, Marcelo Margot's dad.
Oh my God.
I'm like, Dad, you can't do that. He's like, what? What's the problem? This guy's an a-hole. I'm like, Dad, that's not the point. Go ahead, John.
Is your dad Italian?
Yeah. Super Italian.
But he has a heavy accent.
Oh yeah, he has a pretty good accent. Not super heavy, but he has an accent for sure. Yeah.
Because he called me at one point, and he got heated. And I was.
Oh my God,
this is great. This is gold, man.
But it was just like my son, and I had to piece it together because it was like coming in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah.
So please fill me in on this conversation. I need to know what happened.
I just remember enough that he was upset about getting in trouble, and he was, and so I have to piece it together and finally figure out. I was like, this is Marcelo's dad. Well, there are not that many Marcelos out there.
That's right. Marcello, baby.
So no, but no, a very good guy. And then I think I saw him later at events.
Yeah, for sure.
And he would always make a point.
Yeah.
Is he still with us?
No, he passed. He left us last November, and he was ready. He was ready. As hard as it is to lose a parent or someone you love, man, sometimes you just feel a little bit of relief, because they're yeah.
I remember that he had health issues. He was a little older, wasn't he?
Yeah, he passed at 80 years old. So yeah.
And Marcelo, you're the greatest son in the world, dude. Just all the way through, I was there with you, couldn't ask for a better kid than you, Marshy.
Thanks, man. Well, I was just trying to repay him for all the awesomeness that he brought to me my entire life. Truly,
both of you had
except for those moments on PB Nation where I just wanted to strangle him. Like, Dad, this is my reputation. And I just turned pro too, so I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, Dad, if you're going to do it, you need to create an alias account and not let people know that you're like, oh, this is so embarrassing. But yeah, shout out to my proud pops.
But no, he left me with a very good impression. The funny part was that
he's the man.
Even though, but it was just very obvious. He was a very generous guy, that he loved you and that he loved being part of this.
Yeah,
for
sure.
And that's incredible. I mean, it's a very good indicator for people as they grow up and have their own kids that you guys have both survived and thrived in paintball, but both of you had very supportive parents.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right. Totally. I would not, both of us without our fathers would not have been able to do any of this. Absolutely.
And so that's nuts. I mean, it's we're in an age now where it's not us thinking as much about our parents, but thinking about our kids, thinking about the next generation of how it's it's different.
That's on the forefront of our thought processing of even creating this whole platform of play the game and nurturing the sport and, doing it for the youth and making sure that we have something very powerful and worthy of the future generations to come. We want to make sure that we pass down a good product to the people. We have to make sure that this is something that we can grow with. And that's what it's all about.
Very interesting. Like I said, you guys told me you were going to do it. I thought it would be a good fit for both of you.
Yeah.
And was excited about it. Even though I'm not a podcast person, I was excited to see you guys
awesome.
do this and thrive with it. Because right now there's no winner when it comes to podcasts. There's, I guess, Rabikoff did one a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I think he stopped. And now with COVID, there are 100 of them these out there.
Yeah.
But it's good.
That's right. Absolutely.
The way most of this stuff and the way a lot of media evolves is there will probably be a winner at some point.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
It might be a year or two. There might be a couple that are in the running, but it will be. I'm glad to see you guys in it for the long haul and
Thank you.
And making so many of them.
Yeah, and we're all winning if we're all boosting paintball. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Obviously, you know, we want to give the people the most quality product we can, and the stories. It's all about the heritage to us. We want to pass down these stories. And
see, I'm so bad at that. I'm terrible about remembering paintball stories. I don't like telling them. I'm not good. Like I'm not a good storyteller.
Well, you've been good here. You've been really good.
Yeah.
And actually. Go ahead, Marshy.
Yeah, but let's get back into the story. Actually,
Why you got to do me like that? I tell you, this is not my favorite part, and immediately throw me under the bus.
You're on the wrong show, baby.
No, that's. I came prepared. I brought distractions. So
there we
that.
go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Speaking of the distractions, I do want you to tell me what those 4 guns are on your back wall there before we get into the PB Nation again.
So funny enough, those change.
Oh wow. Okay.
They're just. I do have a couple guns that I no longer play with because it'd be a crime to lose them.
Yeah.
But I have to, and those are very much display guns. There are a couple on the table below it as well that we can go through as many of them as you guys want. Because a couple of those are iconic.
No way. Dude.
A couple of those are either one of a kind or a first one or early team guns or owned by people that are actually famous in this industry.
Yeah, go check out the YouTube. Play the Game is the name of the channel, and check out these guns on the YouTube there.
And then not just that, but although I refuse to answer the jersey collection question, mainly because I have no idea.
Is it over 300?
No, probably not.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, it's up there. It's right around.
It's close. But no, I have a stack of jerseys that I just grabbed some random ones. That we can go through some of those just to and talk about that. But it's interesting because autocockers and old guns is another way that I have a group of friends that collect those. I have a group of friends that collect jerseys. A group of friends that the t-shirt I'm wearing is from my old 10-man team back in the day.
Yep.
And then
shout out to Farside. He's got a Farside shirt on there.
And then we've played some of these throwback events. Literally, I just talked to Todd at Raza one day and was like, I need a Farside jersey because I need a jersey I can play in that's a modern jersey that I'm not worried about ruining an old JT jersey with the vinyl on the back or an old Renegade jersey or something like that. So he sent me the design for a Farside jersey. I was like, that's cool. And I was like, it's Todd's a business. I should see if anybody else wants one. And so he's not just making one jersey for me.
Yeah.
So some of my idiot friends got them.
Yeah.
And then of course, true to form, they're like, well, we have jerseys. We got to go play an event.
That's right. Of course.
Like, this is a terrible plan. Like half these guys hadn't touched a gun in literally 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 years.
Yeah.
And so we put this ragtag group of misfits together.
That's the best though. That is the best.
And it was hilarious seeing everybody fall into their old roles. Seeing the guy that I played with and was roommates with for a long time. My first real paintball job was at a company called PMI. Yeah. PMI was out of Chicago. And it's basically what has evolved into Key. And then evolved again into GI. In fact, the same guys that I worked with now run GI. Oh, so my roommate back then was John Rathman.
Yeah.
And Johnny is the sales manager at GI. Yeah. And his boss was Saransky, and Saransky's now the president of GI.
Yeah.
So there was a long-running joke on Farside that whoever was my roommate basically ended up on the team.
With that guy, you're in there. Basically,
because like they'd come hang out at practice, and then I was even at that point I was the guy that had been on the team just about the longest, and I would obviously advocate for them. and I wouldn't be a roommate with a
of
terrible
course.
paintball player.
Hey, that we have a similar thing on Dynasty. It's like if if we're gonna be on the team, you got to be a good roommate. We got to make sure that's what it's all about.
So I didn't know Johnny at all, but he was hired at PMI at the same time I was.
Yeah.
And so we basically just kind of fell into being roommates. And then Johnny would play on the team, and then he took things more seriously than most, so he ended up running the team for the most part.
Dang.
And then now with, like I said, we're doing this again, playing 10-man, and poor Johnny, we trick him into running the team instantly. Like,
there you go.
Right away, we're looking to him. It's like, so what's the plan?
You're the best at this. You should run the team.
Yeah.
And then the first 10-man we played was the one that Lane held down at his field. Lane Wright, who used to run the PSP, the biggest tournament series in the world. And so we accidentally win that thing.
Dang. That's awesome.
And so then my guy's like, we got to play more of these. And I'm like, this is so much babysitting.
Yeah. Then you're really in for it. Now you won.
I think the picture I have on my Facebook is from that, and it's me diving, and literally behind me, you can see a guy literally looking at his own gun because it's broken, pointing at his own face. I'm sure turning knobs on his autococker.
Yeah. And that's the guy who's supposed to be having your back and supporting you out there.
I think it's probably the guy that was supposed to be in the bunker I'm diving into.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it was fun that we actually shot a couple of the prototype G-Mechs at the time, the mechanical G-Tech that Planet Eclipse would later release. And so that was their foray back into mechanical guns.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to play with these guns that weren't released yet, that just like the E-Mech, just flawless, had no issues you didn't have to worry about, weren't super expensive. A bunch of my guys the guys that didn't have the E-Mechs tried to play with autocockers and other guns that hadn't been aired up in 10 years.
Yeah.
Didn't function because throwback events were a lot of fun. And then I think that we won the second one we played as well by accident.
There we go. We go.
We played the Fight Club 10-man that was all hyperball.
That sounds fun.
This one we were outclassed at. The All-Americans had their team. Infamous had their guys.
Dang.
Aftershock was there on their home field.
Whoa.
And Johnny didn't show. Johnny had a different obligation, and he was sick of telling who to sit, so he didn't show up for that one.
Yeah.
But it was just as much fun. It was just ridiculous.
You guys came out with a win at that event there. Dang.
Yeah, we won that one. And my friend from Utah that now lives out in Utah came back and played that one. His name's Jamin Kunke, and he's someone that I hadn't seen much around. So it was this fun reunion of people that I hadn't seen, didn't get to see anymore, used to be great friends, and just fall right into it like it was like we'd seen each other. We'd practiced the weekend before,
like riding a bike.
Yeah, it's
like riding a bike. Aside from the fact that we have a very firm rule of no practice.
Yeah,
we're spread out over like 8 different states or something ridiculous. So
just for the love of it.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the love of the game, man. That's so amazing.
Goof off. Hopefully, more of us own Planet Eclipse guns now, so more guns work. So that makes my life easier.
Yeah. And speaking of the guns, which one is the gun by the autococker there? I could see the autococker, and then there's one right next to the autococker there.
All right, so across, well, actually down even further. I think. Who knows what? Let's do this.
Okay.
I think he's gonna grab them.
Yeah.
And then
a couple.
There we go. Because
they all have stories. Let me know if we go on too long with any of this stuff. They all mean something to me, but they all can just get lifted right up.
For sure. Yeah, let's dig into some of his amazing guns that he has here, and then we're gonna dig into the PB Nation backstory. And he also played pro paintball too, so we want to talk about that as well. He's grabbing these off the wall as we speak.
Just an all-time story collector right here.
Yes, one of the
Straight
most.
up.
Probably has one of the deepest collections in all of paintball. He's got so much paintball.
I dug a couple of these out of the safe for this.
There we go. Love that.
But let's see.
Whoa.
All right. So I don't know if you can see the engraving on this. This is a Team Navarone gun.
Navarone.
I called it.
Dude. Hey, Marcelo. Yeah, you just got that jersey.
Yeah, 100%. One of our buddies at the Denver clinic, because he heard on the Matty Marshall podcast talking about Navarone. Navarone played at Borderland. That's where I started playing. So Navarone was the first team that I saw. He gave me a jersey of theirs from like 1998. So sick.
Oh, so like you said,
John will buy it right now for 500.
no.
After sale.
So yeah, Maddie came from Navarone. Maddie Marshall, Davey Williamson played for Navarone.
Yeah.
I don't know if Micah did a lot. There are a lot of those guys of that Ironman era.
Yes,
That's right.
Played with Navarone.
Yep.
And so this one's pretty cool because it's got the jewel like actually embedded in it.
Dude, that's
So on here we got this blue Navarone jewel with the engraving of Navarone. And what kind of an autococker is that?
It's actually a Sniper 3.
Sniper 3.
It's a pump gun.
There we go. Wow.
And then
that's amazing.
This might have been the autococker at the end.
Yeah.
there it
so
is.
This is one of Inception's remake of the Predator autococker.
Yeah.
The Predators were a team I looked up to out of England.
Yeah.
They switched from automags to autocockers in the mid 90s. And they were this legendary team. They shot Bell Sales guns, which I was a big fan of Bell Sales.
I've never even heard of that. Wow. What was that? Bell Sales?
The Evolution.
Okay. Awesome.
The Evolution autococker and the Predator autococker were Bell Sales guns.
I see. Okay.
And then this is Simon's homage to them.
Wow.
And so when the Predator guys started playing paintball again, these are guys older than I am. When they started playing woods ball again the last couple of years over in England, Simon made them a Predator autococker, and most are green and this one's black.
Awesome.
So a little different.
Yeah.
But
cool.
This valve is the valve that I played with for years on Farside. This is actually the very first RT automag.
Whoa.
That looks like some Star Wars stuff.
It's
right there.
It's a stormtrooper gun.
The ones that we played with, one of the guys on the team worked for Airgun Designs, Jeff Schreiber. He now runs Powerhouse, the regulators.
That's right. Shout out to Powerhouse.
Schreiber would cut all of these guns up. They would start like this, these monstrosities. And he worked at Airgun, and we would tell him, like, no, these have to be race guns. These got to be got to make race cars, got to make them small, got to make them light. And so he literally would chop these guns into pieces.
Whoa.
And then we would play with the lightened version. But the valve I played with was valve number 1.
Dang.
Because that's the one that he had access to.
Whoa.
And so it was a running joke on the team that you'd give Jeff your gun, and then God knows what you'd get back. But you didn't complain. I went out, since I was new and dumb to Farside, I went out and bought this sweet black mini mag.
Yeah.
I literally got back the foregrip. There was no other piece to this gun.
Oh,
and so the gun I gave him was worth real. I was like, so what about? He's like, it's gone, brother. It's gone.
Oh no.
But the gun he gave back worked so much better. We were sponsored by JT. You literally could read Scott in the side of it from a Scott sticker that had been there for years and gotten peeled off.
Whoa.
It looked like it'd been run over by a truck to a certain extent, but shot absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so we were very loyal to Schreiber and to Airgun for years, just because it was somebody within the industry who worked there and who was fighting the good fight. Like, he was trying to tell Airgun how to stay relevant. And if they listened to him, they might have stayed in it.
You never know. That's right. And I love all the videos that you do as well. I see videos all the time of you testing out different guns and just giving your insights. And I think it's really beneficial for the community. Love that you do that.
Absolutely.
It's just one of those things that, so it's funny because, again, I'm not a big video watcher. I loved the videos back in the day, Push, Serial Killers, Sunday Drivers. But even then, I'd only watch them once or twice.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person that watches movies hundreds of times. I haven't seen Anchorman 500 times or something.
Yeah.
Or Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
And so, but there's some modern movies, like Dan Napoli made some incredible movies that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's actually coming out with a new movie about X Factor that
it's a redone movie that's already been out.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it's got a new ending because he put it out before X Factor had won an event.
That's right. Yeah.
And so now he gets to make the right ending. It was always one of the jokes. So Pat's Pat did Heroes for a Day, the excessive story.
Yep.
And it was like it was made for him. He did this incredible movie, and at the end, they won. Like, while he's still filming, that they made the ending for him.
Yep.
That was actually a movie that was PB Nation was one of the biggest sponsors behind it. I think we were the presenting sponsor or I think the owner of PB Nation actually had a producing credit on it.
That's crazy. Wow.
Because Pat was a friend. And in fact, Bonnie did, Pat's wife at the time, did all the PB Nation merchandising for years and years.
Wow. Cool. That's awesome.
So, but no, it's, I love those kind of films, these big, epic, this Dan Napoli one, like I said, it spans years for X Factor because it's them as the almost team, right?
Yeah.
Until they had that just incredible year.
I know, man. It was a magical year for those guys. That was a crazy turn of events, and they really showed their true colors, man. They're deep roster.
And not just that, but it's a good paintball story because it did things like it really brought the company JT back to the forefront.
Absolutely.
That JT had been, they'd been goggles for years, but when I came up, JT was the company everybody wanted to be sponsored by.
Yeah,
that's
John
right.
Gregory was the man. The very first 10 men I went to, I watched the Iron Men on the sidelines next to an older gentleman and just talked to him. And as we walked away, he's like, all your guys wear that mask? I'm like, yeah. And like, I'm putting it together as he's talking about it. He's like, come over to my booth. The JT booth was like literally the trunk of a Taurus that he'd rented. Yeah. He pops the trunk and he hands us the new Flex 7, the clear Flex 7 masks for everyone. He's like, how many guys you got? 12. And so he just hands me 12 of the masks. Like, make sure everybody gets one.
That's amazing.
And he was just this incredible guy. But he took paintball sponsorship to the next level. Mm-hmm. He, at the time, people were wearing camouflage, and he was one of the first guys that's like, no, you guys are going to wear jerseys with your names on them. The players that were pro at that first year, and only the guys that were pro right at that first time where he first made jerseys, actually got their first name done in yellow, and then got their last name, and it was this curved font, and it was like all of a sudden you were somebody if you had one of these. I guess it was probably 96 or 97. If you had one of these jerseys with your first name in yellow, he just took this sponsorship idea and took it to the next level. There wasn't a team in paintball that didn't want to be sponsored by JT.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was cool.
That was Dave Youngblood's father-in-law.
Yes.
Owner of Die Paintball. You know?
Wow. So, yeah, it's all like it's all connected. Yeah, for sure.
So John Gregory, and I think that's what started a little bit of my jersey fascination, because some of the jerseys I try to collect is those first name in yellow, old school JT jerseys. They didn't even have a team name on them. Whoa. They just have just JT on the front. Later teams started adding logos to the front and other things, but
so that's kind of where like your jersey infatuation started, was right there with that.
It's definitely one of the ones that I looked. I mean, this was before Facebook had as much reach as it does now. So people that had these jerseys, they didn't know that they were worth anything. They didn't really care. So totally. But definitely one of those JT first name yellow jerseys I have is Dave Youngblood's.
Wow.
Hey, I have one of his Iron Man jerseys.
Damn, that's crazy.
From when he still played as well.
Yeah.
I think it's actually from the last event that he played, I believe.
Wow.
Before he started coaching the next year.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a relic right there, that jersey, and all the things that he's done in the industry, obviously.
We'll get back to jerseys. Let me go through a couple more guns.
Okay, and then sounds good. There we go. He's going back to the gun board. He's got all these guns hanging up on the back wall. He's got them piled on the sides. They're everywhere. He's got so many dang guns. It's pretty amazing,
love it, dude.
man.
Like I said, story collector. And for those of you that, if you don't know who Dave Youngblood is, not only is he the owner of Die Paintball, but he has been a catalyst of the sport for so long. He was one of the owners of the PSP. Just has brought the game to the next level on so many different
and he started out just making barrels, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And then it grew just like kind of like HK. HK started out with making a couple headbands, and then they exploded into this huge company, you know? And same with, we were talking about Dave. John just joined us. He got all the guns off the wall. We were talking about how Dave started with barrels, and it's just simple like that. And that's how it starts.
Dave started with the heaviest barrels you've ever seen. If you touch one of those old, like the first stainless steel barrels, literally weighed almost as much as the gun.
Yeah,
it was nuts.
Yeah,
and he very smartly figured it out real fast.
Yeah,
Dave wasn't quite the fooligans that the HK guys were. The HK guys like literally parking their bus next to an event and like slinging headbands in the parking lot.
Oh yeah. Let's
but-
go, boys. Run it up. Run it
Yep.
up.
But it was great. Like they did so well with it.
Yeah.
We're starting with just a podcast.
That's it.
Yeah. Hey, see, there you go. Same idea. And I realize that this probably makes bad podcasting material showing you guys stuff, but maybe this will feed your
great.
YouTube channel a little bit.
This is awesome.
100%.
All of it. Yeah, we love it. There's
Right,
there's no bad times on here, man. They get everything from all, and then while you're getting the guns, we're kind of breaking down like the heritage, and it's all good.
Yeah. Because I lived in Tennessee and then Chicago for a long time. Definitely one of the incredible teams for me was Aftershock.
Of course.
That Aftershock was just this incredible woods ball team for years, and then transitioned into the concept fields with Hyperball and still won.
Yeah.
Transitioned into Airball and still would win World Cup.
Yeah.
And then obviously faltered a little bit when X-Ball came around, but when they brought back the old school 10-man for the NXL Mech, they still won the second event of the year.
Yeah.
So
I know I miss them so much, dude. I wish they were still around.
Absolutely.
The team.
That was a huge loss to paintball. Just such an iconic team and brand.
Holy shit.
goodness.
Look at this gun.
all right. So this is actually Kenny Clamper's old SFL.
Dude.
Kenny.
Whoa.
Kenny was the man. So I met Kenny.
This thing
when
is
he was-
glimmering. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
all chromed out. Just
It's
insane.
all silver and chrome.
Yeah.
All shiny and chrome, son.
Wow.
So I
Yeah.
met Kenny when he was a 15-year-old kid. I lived in Florida one winter.
Yeah.
And he was a local kid that one of my friends, he's like, you gotta meet this kid.
Yep.
And he played paintball like nobody I'd ever seen before. Didn't want to play nationally but 15-year-old kid, and would play one-on-ones and play 17 different bunkers in a one-on-one.
Yeah.
He'd retreat 4 times as you played him. It was crazy. I was a pretty good paintball player at that point, and like I remember losing a one-on-one to this 15-year-old kid. And I was like,
Yeah.
geez.
Yeah.
and
he
he
was a
just
big
played-
name through paintball
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, he became a big name. So
Yeah.
I was supposed to play a 5-man with a team called Jacksonville Warriors, supposed to play Skyball.
Yeah.
And at the last minute, my team, Farside, said, hey, we're going to play in the pro division. You have to play with us.
Nice.
And I was like, well, you're dividing my loyalties here, but that's okay. And so I went to Kenny and talked him into playing that 5-man with Jack's Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
He did, and they won Skyball.
Dang.
As his first big event, he left the country, went and won as a 15-year-old.
Wow.
And then
Crazy.
played with Jacksonville and won with them, and then went on to Aftershock.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I didn't get that gun from Kenny. I wasn't smart enough to collect jerseys back in the day. I wasn't
Yeah.
smart enough to get cool guns from people back in the day. I've had to buy them all from people that wanted way inflated prices later.
Yeah.
So I got back when I was playing competitively, I was too, proud, too something to ever
Yeah.
ask anybody for a jersey. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But now as I got older, like that nostalgia bug hit me real hard about 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, man,
Yeah.
these are pieces of history
That's right.
Absolutely.
that we're going to lose. And so
Yeah.
it started kind of collecting guns a little more and have lucked into some incredible ones.
What's
yeah,
your
you have, man.
what's your absolute favorite gun?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
favorite jersey?
I can't pick my favorite kid, man. Can't pick my favorite jersey.
Everyone has a
I
favorite
might have to-
kid, whether they admit it or not.
It all depends on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
It's
right.
all, and we tell our kids that all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're the favorite right now.
Yeah.
But when you don't go to bed tonight and you try and sneak up out and watch
Yeah.
TV, no, you're no longer the favorite.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's
they're
the
on
other
thin
one.
ice at your house.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
It's
how
an
it goes.
instant ranking system. It's promotion and relegation every day.
That's right.
Get them ready for the real world. I like it.
Yeah, it's not far
So-
off.
So this wasn't a complete gun,
Whoa.
but this is actually the very first automag valve.
Holy crap.
This is automag valve number 100
Whoa.
because there was no 1 through 99.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So
This thing looks amazing, and it's completely bare, you know?
yeah, it looks like a couple tubes and hoses.
That's right. Yeah.
But this was the gun that basically was the only rival to the autococker.
And what year did that gun come out?
Oof,
That was
early
like,
90s.
Okay.
Or early 90s.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it was actually one of the first semis, and it took a couple of years to work the problems out because partially because people were trying to shoot CO2 through it,
Oh, yeah. No way. Yeah.
and you can't.
No.
Or you just have to shoot it. You have to
Yeah.
anti-siphon tubes or vertical bottles or
Yeah.
loops of hose, expansion chambers,
Yeah.
all these things to make these guns work on CO2. Compressed air came out, and all of a sudden it was a top of the line gun
For
overnight.
sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Without all of those other problems.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a piece of history right there, man.
Absolutely.
So, and this one's on loan. I don't actually own this one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But the next three guns, the next three are cool. We'll go through these a little faster.
No, this is perfect, dude. We got all the time in the world.
This is one of the original left feed Predators.
Yeah.
Guns. This was the captain's gun.
Dude,
just,
with the stock.
Just because they butchered his name intentionally. They put Mucus on the side instead of Marcus. This is the gun that kind of launched the Predators.
Stock on there. It's just so funny seeing where the air tanks used to screw in. For people that don't know, like, my goodness, we've just evolved so much.
Yeah,
that is wild.
So for the listeners,
you gotta go and check out the YouTube channel. But I think Tyler's gonna try to explain it.
Yeah, so it's got this crazy angle. You know, it's like a 20-degree angle down, and you have the stock, and then the tank is below the stock, which is super crazy. This gun is awesome. It's like that deep green. And it says Mucus and Captain on the side.
Mucus Captain.
And then Predators on the other side.
And then Predators. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, that cocker is sick.
And this one actually is an alternate milled evolution with a P block, whereas the guns later that they made with War Games were right feed. They were green, but they said Predators as well.
Yeah.
And to me, it's some of the most iconic guns out there. And then it makes sense why Simon from Inception would make his Predators later.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, with the feed coming off the other side, it's almost like a very rare gun because of that, right?
That is part of it. Since all the production guns were right feeds.
Yeah.
But the Predators were known for all their. They shot automags first, and automags had the power feed that came off to the side.
Damn.
So what they did is when they went to Wargame Products, who owned the autococker, they said, "Hey, our right-handed guys are used to their hopper being behind cover.
Yeah.
So our right-handed guys all need left feeds, and our left-handed guys all need right feeds."
Oh, wow.
And obviously, they're more right-handed people than left. And so those left feed Predator guns, there are very few of them out there. And then I think Marcus only had a couple of these. I thankfully he still had one.
There's probably only one Mucus though, right?
Oh no, I think they got him with that every time.
Oh boy.
I think his Predator autococker says Mucus on it.
Dude, that's funny.
They just keep tasing him with it.
Damn.
Yeah, they're relentless with that tase. That's a good one.
I grabbed this one because I think you played with Ryan Williams on Iron Man.
I did, yeah. Man, shout out to Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams was my very first pro kill when I was in New Orleans.
He traded with you at the X.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
It's crazy that you know that, John.
Yeah.
I actually think there might have
there was a magazine.
He might have been the second. I think you shot somebody else going to the snake.
Okay, shoot.
And
I hope so. Let's go, baby. Rack them up.
It looked like it. Because I mean, you got to realize this is a 14-year-old kid playing pro at literally the most brutal form of paintball we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was
so
crazy.
We're in the stands and we're like, man, I hope this kid doesn't have to call his parents halfway through this match or something crazy.
Yeah.
And do they hide him in the back? Hell no. They send him to the 50 off the break.
Yeah, go get it, buddy.
Way skinnier back then.
Yeah, it was
easy.
But I think the way my memory is Tyler shot somebody either going I think snake side, and then Ryan went up the center and blasted Tyler, but didn't live through it.
That's right. Yeah, because I did go up shooting snake way. Dude, you might have just told me something I didn't even know, because I did go up shooting that way, and then me and Ryan, we smoked each other. Yeah, that was awesome.
You played with him on his later years and on his final years on the Iron Man when you guys won.
Yep.
Yeah. What a legend, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Ryan. He was so unorthodox, but somebody you could rely on to win games over and over and over and over. It was crazy.
Absolutely.
So Ryan, in the finals there was 110. So the way the NPPL used to work is you'd have the 10-man was the main event that everybody wanted to play.
Yeah.
But they'd have a 5-man before it, on Thursday kind of thing. And so some teams would come play the 5-man, or if you couldn't play it, then you'd go up in the middle of the week and play the 5-man.
Yeah.
Like if you couldn't get 10 guys. So the finals at World Cup one year, Aftershock played the finals for 5-man. And Ryan, so in the finals, there are 4 teams. So you play 3 different teams. You're coming up against 15 opponents. Ryan literally shot in the finals 14 of the 15 guys.
No way.
For Aftershock to win,
Dude.
and would have shot the last guy if Bruno hadn't run up and bunkered him before Ryan shot him.
That's
Wow.
insane.
I believe it. Yeah. Crazy.
Whoa.
Aftershock, when they won that 5-man, Ryan literally shot single-handedly, and obviously it takes a team. Your team is at least taking paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But massacred the other teams.
Wow.
And Bob Long was sitting there watching that game and was just like, what? Could not believe it.
He was probably a few beers deep too.
Bobby took it serious because I think the Ironmen were one of those teams. That
No, Ryan Williams.
Yeah, right.
Ryan. Who knows with Ryan? So this
maybe Bobby
this
too. He loves those Michelob Ultras, man. Get him a Michelob. He's a happy man.
There we go.
So around 2001, I want to say 2002, I was on the sidelines watching games with Ryan.
Yeah.
And I was like, autocockers are on the way out, man. Like I was shooting an automag, he was shooting an autococker. I'm like, this is the end of an era.
Yeah.
Guns can't keep up. And he's like, I don't know, dude. He's like, my gun still shoots great. And I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's like, honest to God, he's like, I have not broken a ball in this gun.
Oh, famous
Ever.
last words.
Whoa.
And I was like, that can't be right. He's like, not one.
Damn.
It's like, and at the time we're shooting the most brittle paint you can possibly shoot out of guns. And so I'm like, when you sell that gun, let me know.
Yeah, for real.
just when you move on, let me know.
What was your favorite paintball of all time? Like of all the years, what's your favorite paintball?
You got to realize I worked for PMI.
Of course.
That developed Evil.
Oh my God. I was going to say that white shell
pink fill.
Oh my God.
That we shot in the first Huntington Beach.
That was crazy paint.
Like literally you could take it at waist height and drop it onto the sand and it would break.
Yeah.
But it would come out of your gun somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somehow.
That paint was
unbelievable.
Yeah. Totally.
But I asked Ryan, I was like, when you sell that gun, let me know.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. He forgot about it. And a couple of years ago, somebody posted it.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, if you ever sell that gun, let me know.
Yeah.
And it took him about a year, maybe a little less. And he's like, okay, what's it worth?
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. So I paid way more than I'll ever admit.
Yeah.
But he was like, all right, well, exactly what I want to buy for my truck is within $100 of that. So sold.
Yep, that was not a very cost friendly purchase there.
None of these have been. I am the worst when it comes to this. That, like I said, all these guys, a lot of these guys were friends that I bought jerseys for, or people I knew that would have given me a jersey or would have traded jerseys. Or
well,
something.
it also, as a collector, that's a smart move as well because it raises the value of the item as well moving forward, right? It kind of does. Yeah.
I tell myself all these lies.
Yeah. That's right.
But none of them are real.
Yeah, got to justify it.
I got one more gun I'll show you quick. Just because this is the man that started it or that did it so well.
Oh, wow.
So this is an old right feed, all polished black.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was ranting online saying, I can't believe that some autocockers are worth this, but a handmade gun from Danny Love from the mid 90s doesn't fetch premium pricing. Yeah. I'm like, he's right. And so I'm like, instantly in my mind, I'm like, for my collection, I got to find a right feed Danny Love Bad Boys Toys gun.
And that's what we have here. That one.
Dude, that gun was
This was the only one that was online at the time that I could find. It'd been sitting for a while. The guy couldn't sell it because it's a right feed, and right feeds are like, people don't play with right feeds very often.
And there's no trigger guard. It's just got the trigger there.
Got a double trigger over there.
Yeah.
Trigger shoe.
So,
that's tight.
I was like, all right. Told the guy, I was like, I can't pay what you're asking, but I'll pay this if you can't sell it.
Yeah.
And he gets back to me later. He's like, all right. And I was like, and to make it cheaper for you, you can hand deliver it at I think it was a UWL.
Oh, wow. Cool.
At an event at Badlands.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So he brings it up. And so it's kind of cool taking possession of this gun at its home.
That's right.
I've paid for it months before I finally get it. I walk 150 feet and I see Danny.
Whoa.
And Danny's like, nice gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm told it's one of yours. Hopefully I didn't just get scammed.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, it's one of mine. Like from 10 feet away. He's like, it's one of mine. He's like, let me see it. And I was like, yeah, I'm told you made it. He's like, no. He's like, it's one of mine.
Whoa.
Like, what do you mean? He's like, that's my tournament gun.
Whoa.
Damn.
And so I was like, no. And this poor guy that I just bought it from, who will remain nameless.
Oh God.
I just watch him melt inside.
Oh no.
Because he realizes that he just sold one of Danny Love's personal guns. And then like Danny grabs it and instantly he's pointing at things. He's like, oh yeah, see, I had to file that down by hand because I couldn't actually, I didn't have the tools.
Wow.
See that? See how the back of the bolts actually knurled? I didn't have it. I couldn't do knurling. So that's actually the back. That's actually a rock knob that I sliced off. Like he tells
crazy.
Like 6 or 10 things about the gun that nobody else could have known just off the top of his head.
That is crazy.
Whoa. So that thing is just timeless. That's crazy, man. And you got it in Chicago at that field. That's insane. Whoa.
Man, that's a dope collection right there. Just a few that you showed us, man. Kenny Clamper. Oh my goodness. Ryan Williams, Danny Love. Like, that's iconic, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Timeless. And so it's been fun for me to see people remember these guys as Shock Tech started making guns again. That's Danny Love. Hopefully Kenny Clamper comes out and plays one of these old school events with some of the guys. I think this is Aftershock's 30th year, or 30 years since Aftershock was formed. So they've been harassing Kenny, trying to get him to come out to Badlands.
Come on, Kenny, get out there, baby.
The Predators are playing again.
I know it's a great nostalgic time, right? Yeah,
that's 100%. That's exactly it. That I got old and this nostalgia thing kicked in hard.
Yeah, it did.
And so it's been fun. It's fun to remember. It's fun to talk to people about this kind of stuff for me.
Yeah,
totally.
And it's fun. Like I said, it's fun to reminisce. Like I can't believe I can remember some of Tyler's
that's crazy.
Early games.
Yeah, man, that's rad.
It's spot on.
I love that.
And it's hilarious.
You got me another kill, baby. Let's go. You got.
Put it up on the stats, Cena.
Kind of sounded like he wasn't giving you the Ryan Williams kill.
I'm not sure about that one. I couldn't tell if he traded with Ryan or if Ryan got him and got smoked by the team.
No, actually, my memory, I didn't get shot by Ryan. I smoked him right in the goggles when he came over the can, and then I got shot by someone else. I don't remember who shot me, but I shot Ryan square in his face when he came over that can. Yeah. Right. And maybe, that's my little pea brains version of it, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Well, it's crazy to me, like looking back at those old games. Can you imagine if you had your paintball smarts back then with your size and your speed?
Jeez. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's been a full metamorphosis for me. I've had to learn how to play paintball a couple different times as my body has changed over the years, because now I'm 6'2". I was, like you said, 5'0". And it's been a full metamorphosis over all these years to be where I'm at right now. And just excited to be still playing paintball. I know it's been crazy, but we can't wait to get back out there and play some more events soon.
That definitely goes on one of my favorite things that I realize this is a nostalgia thing.
Yeah,
it's turned into the nostalgia show, but at the same time,
hell yeah,
I've evolved, or I've enjoyed different parts of paintball over the years. Mm-hmm. But it's changed. Paintball itself will change. You'll change as a person. It's easy for people to get older and look at something that used to be fun to them and say, oh, it was better back then. Mm-hmm. Everything changes.
That's right.
PB Nation, like I said, we kept talking about, it was the place for a while. Right. Yeah. Things evolved. Mm-hmm. Things changed.
So sorry, go ahead, Marshy.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, so diving back into that, when you got involved, how that happened. First of all, John, we love going off on these tangents, so thank you for that.
Yeah, this is what it's all about.
That's what this show's about is really just having fun, having good conversation, getting to know each other.
I definitely had a plan coming into this, and that was to turn it on you guys way more than I've successfully done.
Good luck, buddy.
I had a strategy, and I am definitely it's falling along by the wayside.
We got you.
So I got involved with PB Nation 2 different times, basically. When I was at PMI, I knew it was this forum and it was up and coming, and I knew there were all these different forums. There was Paintball City. There were all these different places for people to go. And I ran the customer service department at the time.
Okay.
And so I made my guys, I told them, I was like, the last thing I want to know is find this 10-page thread talking bad about us with
Yeah.
something we could have fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every morning when they came in, they got there half an hour to an hour before me. I was like, I want you just to go through the different sites. You guys can trade off who does it. I don't care. I'm not going to micromanage this part, but I want to know what's like at the time
What's
we had
being
the
said,
Pure
yeah.
Energy brand, the Evil brand, the PMI's, the Piranha, like figure out what's going on with those. If there's something big that I need to be involved with, otherwise just post something and make sure that push back a little bit or help them out.
There we go.
Well, the general manager came in after they'd been doing this for a long time and saw them online on the internet and lost it.
Oh God.
He scolded all of them.
Yeah.
I came in, they were in trouble. They were all hangdog and sad.
Yeah.
So I had to like bring the general manager back. And I was like, come explain to them that it's okay. He's like, it's not okay. I'm like, yes, it's okay. I was like, this is part of their job, and had to walk him through how forums
Totally.
were changing paintball.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
And how social media would change paintball.
Yeah.
And then, a gun got stolen.
Oh boy.
So a gun went missing.
From where?
At the time we had Evil Factory team. That was the team that I played with when we won the amateur division of Huntington Beach in 2003 with that Evil paint.
Yeah, that's right.
So we, one of our guys got an Intimidator
Oh wow.
at an event.
Yeah.
I had to put it together there. Because at the time Intimidators didn't even come with bottom lines. Like they weren't ready to go out of the box.
Yeah.
Put it together. He went and played. At the end of the day, or at the end of the weekend, he's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to take it back to PMI. Mm-hmm. He owned Flag Swipe Paintball up in Canada. He's like, just put it on one of my skids of paint. Mm-hmm. That way he didn't have to go through customs and everything with it. And I was the sucker that had to put it in my bag.
Oh boy.
You, I'm sure you guys are used to these games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That gun went missing. Never arrived in Canada.
Damn.
So we thought it got stolen by by whoever had the skid was going through. I found that gun months later on PB Nation for sale.
Oh shit.
Wow.
And it was still in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm calling him because I'm sure we didn't text yet.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I found your gun. And this very bright human being can't remember what color it was. Can't remember what finish it was.
Oh no.
Like literally he owned it for a weekend and it was gone, but he remembered like one specific scratch. It's the only thing he got right.
Yeah.
But since I built it, I remembered it.
Yeah.
So John Rathbun and I end up going to this poor kid's house that's selling it.
Oh man.
And just straight up jack his gun.
Oh, gangster style. Show up.
Yeah.
Hey, we know whose gun this is.
Yeah.
Like we know whose gun this is. Like this poor kid's mom gets involved.
Yeah.
She's yelling at him for buying guns on the internet.
Oh no.
I remember at the time Intimidator serial numbers are on the inside of the grip.
That's
They're not
right.
even on the side of the gun.
Yeah.
So I literally like have my Allen wrenches and like while Johnny's distracting them, I'm taking the gun apart, looking at the serial number, writing it down on something and saying, see, the serial number matches
Yeah.
what I just wrote down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny had like a magazine like with him that had like a full page ad that had his face on it. So he could say like, we're real people. We're not just stealing your gun.
Yeah. And, for all our listeners, we do not condone these activities.
No, nor should you.
But dude, that's
but
what you had to do.
Find
man.
out.
Yeah, that's his gun.
Yeah, we find out that it was the general manager of, or not the general manager, sorry, the warehouse manager of PMI who was stealing.
Oh no. Oh damn.
And so through this, I work with the police and we recover like $40,000 worth of merchandise that he has stolen and is hidden at his house.
Man. Wow.
So obviously,
he was
we
going
made it right.
for it.
Yeah. Oh.
He was going for it.
His wife had turned out like he'd faked his resume. He'd faked his references.
Oof.
And his wife had the most famous quote of like when the police called or were collecting the stuff. She's like, no, he paid for some of that.
Oh yeah.
but we
I
actually got
swear
all this
most
stuff
of it.
back. Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
man.
bad deal.
Yeah.
But so to make it right with this kid, we bought him a new gun, we bought him everything, and
Oh,
sent him this
yeah.
big care package
There we go. Love that.
because he was the one that was able to connect the dots
There we go.
between PB Nation and real life and the guy's username and email and all these
Yeah.
things that allowed the police to prosecute.
Wow. And so you were managing that aspect of PB Nation when all this was happening.
I was technically a moderator on the site.
Okay.
But I basically was making the kids that worked for me do that.
I see. I'm not going to lie, John. I thought you owned PB Nation. I'm
a
not
lot
going
of
to lie.
Me too. Yeah.
A lot of people did. At that time, I was an employee.
Yeah.
Later on, the site got sold.
Yeah.
But part of the deal with the site being sold is that I had to come along with it because
Cool.
at the time I managed it.
Yeah.
And then same thing when it got sold again to this huge Canadian company.
I see. So
and
can
I
you
worked
kind
for
of
them.
walk us through that and how that happened? Like how it transferred?
It's not that interesting. I mean, it's
perfect.
a California startup company called CrowdGather. They were just buying any site that they could and then ran out of money. So they sold a bunch of the sites that they had purchased to Vertical Scope, and Vertical Scope is a much better managed company with a real sales team. And said they're actually in downtown Toronto.
Okay.
So right where we used to play Skyball, they're right down the street. Downtown. They basically have most of a whole floor of this.
Wow.
And they own thousands of forums.
Oh, wow.
But PB Nation was a weird forum for them. They basically are mostly in car forums.
A good investment, huh? Turned out to be. Yeah, it's a good, strong forum.
So I worked with them for years, and then as of this year, I no longer work for them. But I still, I'm still an admin of PB Nation. I still manage everything.
Wow.
But I have never owned it.
That's good to know. That's awesome. You're still involved. Love that.
Yeah, totally. And so you say you no longer work for them, but you're still going to admin. Isn't that kind of working for them, or?
We'll see how much I do.
Okay.
It's definitely an awkward situation because it's something I used to get paid for. But at the same time, I don't want to abandon the community. Don't want to abandon friends I've made, and it's this cornerstone of paintball.
It is, man. For sure. And you have the Instagram
history for it.
You have the Instagram account as well, which has almost 100,000 followers. What's your plan with that? Have you thought of maybe putting that towards a new John Dresser forum?
Yeah.
I won't do a forum. I won't ever compete with PB Nation. That's just wouldn't be cool.
Yeah. Love that.
I don't know. That's my personal Instagram account that I used for a long time, and then just used it for PB Nation stuff because it was easier than starting over.
For sure.
And because it's one of those things that when you work for a company for a long time, that you blur lines with your emotional involvement with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same thing with sponsors. You get emotionally involved with some of your sponsors, right?
Yeah, true.
That you want to do more for them.
I mean, look at my hat, baby. HK all day. Buy HK. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's something that's one of the things that Ryan on your team has done so well. But there's no other professional paintball player that does it what he does. Yeah. Marcelo, you're probably number 2.
Yeah.
Tyler, I don't know where you are with that social media stuff besides slacking.
What, bro? Are you kidding me? I'm the hottest on the block. You're totally out of the loop. Bro, hold on. Let me just say this. Ryan is on my jock, buddy. All right. He's like, he might have some numbers, but dude, no way. I'm the hottest on the block.
It's a numbers game, man.
This is a good question. So you get to keep your PB Nation account. It's not being sold with the forum.
Well, the forum, like I said, they own the forum. They own the YouTube. I signed over to them.
Okay.
Long ago.
Okay.
Funny enough, the YouTube was Pat Spohr started that for us.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Pat. Yeah.
That we hired Pat to because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We're like, who's the best videographer in paintball? Oh, it's Pat, far and away. We'll have him do it.
Awesome.
And so it's funny enough, like he actually put out one of our first videos was like clips that didn't make CK2.
Oh, wow.
So it's like things nobody had ever seen from the best videographer in the world. It got like 500 views.
Yeah. Crazy.
It was just one of those things that that as good as he was at it, it never turned into anything right then. it wasn't until years later that I was like, all right, we got to do better at this. That I started getting involved, that I just took it over and did it myself for years.
Wow.
But with the YouTube channel, I did all the work for it. But like I said, it's their name.
But what about the
Yeah.
Instagram?
Man,
Do you get to keep that?
funny enough, I'm not a big social media person.
Yeah.
Hey, you could sell it to
I
us.
ran-
I'll take it over.
Yeah, we'll take that right on over.
I appreciate
You
your
don't know.
generous offer.
You're sleeping on me. You're sleeping on me.
Oh, 100%. But
Yeah.
I also haven't played pro here in 13 years and never played on Dynasty, son.
Yeah. 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 Hey, no, and you've done a tremendous amount for paintball, dude. Like the what PB Nation has done for the community of paintball is unmatched. There's nothing that's ever been done like it. Yeah.
And there won't be again. It was a different world.
It was.
Things
Totally.
evolve.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
change. Just
There's
like
buy-sell.
in my mind.
Yeah, there's buy-sell trade groups on Facebook that have 100,000 people on them, you know, and 100%.
There are hundreds of them.
Yeah, totally.
And so just like I'm not sure there'll be another Oliver, just because he right now the way the game's played, you can't be that creative. You have to hold your lane. If you go do something else,
Yeah.
they're going to come through there.
It's also
Yeah.
there's never going to be another Jordan. Anytime there's that polarizing of a person or company, whatever it is, when they're the first, it never gets duplicated. You can have 1A and 1B, whatever you want to call it, but the first to do it is they're just always going to hold that pedigree, no matter what. No matter, even if there's another player that comes along and plays better, wins more, it's just hard to ever take that away from somebody because the feeling of it when it's the first at that magnitude, and Oliver was the first superstar, superhero who was just.
It was hilarious. Like, just like I remember Tyler's first game, I remember Oliver's first game.
Damn.
Or not first game in the pros, but in the finals.
Yeah.
So Oliver went to, I think it was Mardi Gras.
Oh shit.
So I think Oliver went to Mardi Gras as an alternate to the
I think
Ironman.
you just like to party. You go to these Mardi Gras.
There we go.
You're ready to rip.
Mardi Gras, like that paintball's missing something by dropping that one.
I
That
know,
was,
huh?
Yeah. It was a rain mud fest ridiculousness. We played one year and literally a bunker bigger than this room floated away. They never saw it again. It was just gone. And thankfully it was the center bunker. So they're like, field plays fine without it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Whoa.
So like one day of Mardi Gras, they just didn't hold the games. They're like, no, go do whatever you want. See you tomorrow.
Dude.
It was just raining that badly.
Sounds like when we were in
like,
Malaga on the beach in 2009. Same thing. Event got rained
when
out.
people got trapped.
Yeah, I was trapped. I got trapped there. It's crazy. That was actually how I met Tom Cole. We were in the lobby, and it was a 9-hour drive to Barcelona. Barcelona was one of the last airports left open in Spain, and all of Spain, and most of the country as well. People were like doing whatever they could to get to Barcelona to fly home. And I heard Tom Cole on the phone with the airlines, like, okay, I can get a flight out of here. And I was like, Tom, I'm like an 18-year-old kid. I'm like, hey, my name is Marcelo. We've never met, but I need to get to Barcelona too. Can I ride with you, please? And Tom was just open arms, took me with him. It's crazy. Yeah.
Tom is the best. You got to realize at 18, Tom had his own pro team.
Yeah.
Damn.
That he ran.
Yep.
People forget that Tom had Bad Company, and he was running it at 18.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
No joke, a legitimate professional paintball team.
Dude, he's such a legend. Tom has done so much for paintball, man. And there's people out there who want to say this, that, and the other, but I mean, when you boil it all down, man, that guy has just done so much for this game.
Not just that, but he's one of my favorite paintball people to talk to.
For sure.
Because not only will
Tom.
he will tell you like it is. He will completely undercut anything that you believe in. He will never sit there and just go along with you.
Yeah.
He will argue about you with anything, but he'll actually change his mind too. If you have something that you want to, that you can convince him of, then
I know
he's willing to change. He's willing to adapt.
Dude, John, listen to this, buddy. We got sidearms in pro paintball now, bro. It's insanity. We had Tom on the show and he said, good to go, baby. He told me I got the green light with the sidearm, so we're going for it.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic when you did a show early on with Tom, just because he is the one that can change things.
Yes.
For sure.
He can make things happen.
Yes,
World Cup, he keeps we keep talking about, is World Cup going to happen?
Yeah.
How is it going to work? And I tell him that I can't bet against him because he's the one person in the world that can single-handedly make it happen.
Sure.
That's right.
That he can get it done.
Yeah.
So it will be
he's
interesting
fighting.
to see.
Dude, he wants.
He's
He's
dying for it. He loves it.
Yeah.
As much as like we say we love paintball, he's been doing this longer than any of us at a higher level of everything he's done.
Yeah. Yeah. What a savage.
Yeah. John, as someone who has been around the sport, obviously, around 30 years, long time, seen the evolution all the way through, been so integrated into every part of it. What do you think is something that needs to change in professional paintball to take it to the next level, if anything? Do you think maybe we're on the right path and just we need to keep pushing along, or do you have any great ideas for the pro side of
I
paintball?
do not. As I have great ideas, or as I have any ideas, whether them bad, it's one of the benefits of Tom's a friend, that he's been a friend for more than a decade. And he's like, he'll answer calls. He'll talk to you about, he's always driving somewhere. So he's always bored wanting to talk to somebody. So he's great about listening to anything. It doesn't matter what it is. But as far as paintball to go to the next level, man, I think part of it might be on the back of pro players like yourselves, of doing things, of showing the world that it's fun, that it's interesting, that making it accessible.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can play paintball in different climates, that you can play it in different spots of the world, that you guys can literally be the face of that.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
And so there's a lot of potential with that. One of your shows that I want to watch is the one from another St. Louis native,
Dave Cheney.
Recently.
Yes.
Yep.
He's the man. His was so good.
So I actually haven't seen it yet, but I didn't live in St. Louis when he did. I don't know him.
Oh, I see. Wow.
But one of the guys that he gave a shout out to, Brock Jolliffe, is like my rec ball buddy and has been for decade.
Wow. Cool.
That Brock and I, we've played local events together. We've played national events together. We went to Amsterdam together. Like, he's one of my favorite people in the whole world. And so it was neat to see other people that were from St. Louis that looked up to Brock before I moved here. Yeah,
Dave, the show with Dave is just profound, to be honest with you. The ideas that he came up with for ways that we can navigate moving forward and boosting paintball to the next level, just grassroots type stuff. And what a great guy, man. Huge shout out to Dave out there. He sent me a care package too. I love you, dude. Thank you so much.
The fact of the matter is, paintball is a local thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost everybody that goes to play paintball for the first time is taken there by a friend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A friend talks them into it, or tells them to go, or tells them where to go. And they almost always play locally. I guess Bart Yakimak might be the odd man out. Like, oh, I was just in Hawaii, so I decided to play paintball. But for the most part, it's a local thing. And so a lot of it's on the backs of those field owners as well.
Yeah.
That you have you guys at the national level trying to be the face of it to a certain extent. But on the field level, it's where they have to have a game that's fun to play, a game that's the barrier of entry is low, a game that people can understand, and a game that they'll enjoy. And the fact of the matter is, if you throw them into playing a tournament or playing something competitive or playing against people that have been playing for any length of time, it robs a lot of that fun. I got lucky and you guys might have gotten lucky that when you started playing paintball, that the fields were bigger, that you could move around more, that the guns were slower, that it was a very different thing. The guns didn't work a lot of the time, so you could survive a situation where you shouldn't have been able to survive. And so it's one of the things we talked earlier about how in St. Louis, I've been impressed with the capital improvements that a lot of fields have made. That the field I go to the most, Extreme Paintball, different extreme than yours, obviously. That Extreme Paintball here has done amazing things with rebuilding their fields. They built a full size hyperball field. They've done all sorts of capital improvements on building up the property. They have a paved driveway. They have a paved parking lot. They have a 3-story shipyard field that they play.
Wow. That's awesome.
Then another field that I play at pretty regularly, Adventure Valley, has possibly the nicest turf I've ever seen. They have the best playing surface I've ever played on. just incredible, clean,
Yeah.
beautiful. It's raised, so it drains well. It's been leveled. It's like I said,
that's so big, man. Marcelo, we were talking about that, like how important that is. And we had a funny conversation with Mikey Urena when we were in Denver.
Oh, shout out to Mike.
We were talking about, and we love Mikey. Thank you, Mikey, for helping us out at that Denver event. But we were like, presentation's everything. When you stroll up to a field, it's got to be looking immaculate and nice, and we want it to be the best product for, and not so much for the kids, but for the mom and dad, right?
Exactly.
When mom and dad come up, they're like, okay, yeah.
Shout out to both of those two fields as well, because they have actual bathrooms as well.
Yeah.
It's not porta potties. They have actual restrooms.
Yeah. Very
absolutely.
All those little details mean so much. And it's, we had this conversation with Dave. This is conversations I've been having for years. I travel around, do a lot of clinics. I like to work with the field owners as well to see how we can provide a better experience for the paintball player. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. The paintball player, when they come for their first time, they need to have a good experience. Otherwise, why would they come back? And that is the grassroots. That is the future of our sport. So there needs to be multiple levels. One, it definitely needs to be somewhat appealing. If parents are bringing their kids there, give them some nice bathrooms, maybe a nice little sitting area, a decent sign when you come in. I think I hate how we've cut so many corners on the quality of paint. That's not a good thing for players to not be able to even shoot straight at the field. And then on top of it, at the recreational field, there also needs to be way more of these like posters or videos of the pro players so they can see, whoa, what's that? That looks really cool. This guy looks like he's famous. I want to see what that's about. You know what I mean? Like 100%. It gives these kids something to idolize and want to become.
I've heard from lots of current pro players and lots of pro players over the years that one of the reasons they wanted to step it up is because they saw 2005 on ESPN.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That they saw $50,000, that they saw Oliver Lang was going to make the next year, that he was going to make six figures playing paintball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Ryan Brand from X Factor's coach was like, that's what hooked me.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of people want to dismiss one part of that marketing. They want to say, oh, pro players don't mean anything, or, oh, this part doesn't mean anything. I think it's all pieces.
Yeah, totally.
And it's that I don't know which one's going to be the breakout piece, because I don't know who's going to spend their time, their money, their attention on it.
Yeah.
But it's all open. Right now, nobody has any of this on lock.
Yeah.
As you said, there's no part of paintball that could not be improved. The paint could get better. We talked good about the EMAC, but we didn't even know that we needed the EMAC until it showed up.
Right.
In fact, when the EMAC showed up, that wasn't the gun that I wanted to get from Planet the most that day. I don't remember what else came out at that same event. I think it was the CS2.
Yeah.
So I couldn't wait to get the CS2, and then I was also like, let me get one of these too. Let me try out the EMAC, and then could not believe at that early Hyperball Fight Club event, that was one of the guns that I brought, because people they didn't own modern guns yet, and it was this plastic gun that nobody took seriously.
Yeah. And
and I had to convince him. I was like, go shoot it, go try this. And Carl Markowski was there playing with one as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were other players playing with them because they weren't even out yet. And it like I said, it's a gun that we didn't even know we needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
More accurate paint for sure. But a lot of the fields are owned by people that started this 20 years ago, 30 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
15 years ago. That's a long time to have a business.
Yeah.
So a lot of them aren't looking at it in a fresh way anymore. A lot of them are set in their ways. A lot of them are made the fields and they're good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Whereas I think there's room for improvement at virtually every level.
For sure.
Yeah. We've actually talked about doing like a PTG program where we can come and, do like an evaluation of fields and help nurture the grassroots of fields as well. And making sure that we have fresh eyes, like you said, on these things to keep things progressively going, in the right direction.
And we talked earlier about how it's hard for for one of your friends to come and play paintball with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I doubt you guys. I mean, I guess F1 made the MVP pump years ago, but you probably don't own a pump gun to go play rec ball with a friend.
Yeah.
I own an
auto
most paintball players don't.
Rec ball.
Yeah, an autococker, especially if you don't have an AccuLock barrel and that first ball rolls out a lot.
Yeah, then it gets interesting.
It makes it
Yeah.
definitely different. It's one of the things with the EMAC that I told the Planet Eclipse guys, that the EMAC wasn't enough of a disadvantage.
Mm.
That it basically, I had no problems going against rec ball guys with their ramping guns playing with an EMAC because I knew it was going to shoot. I knew it was going to shoot straight. I knew it was going to work. It wasn't going to ever break paint.
Yeah, totally.
So it's one of the things that I own pump guns. I might own an autococker or two.
Yeah.
It's one of the disadvantages that it makes it easy to bring a friend and go play and give them the gear that you would normally play with.
Yeah.
And they can fall in love, but it's not something we see.
Yeah.
At some point, it even became uncool to have paintball on t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That if you notice, most paintball t-shirts don't say paintball. It became cool in paintball to talk bad about it or talk about how you couldn't win money or this or that.
Yeah. I know.
And
we got paintball.
I'm not saying
you can head over to ptgpaintball.com. We got paintball. Play the game.
It's good.
Yeah.
That there's so much room in paintball for people to be ambassadors.
Yeah. Totally.
That fields used to really struggle with how to sponsor local teams, and my answer was always been the same of just tell them, like, get them bringing groups in. If they're not bringing groups in, then they're not really ambassadors to your field.
That's a great idea, John. Wow, that's a great idea for some kind of sponsorship program. If you bring in 1 or 2 groups a month, new players, then you pay for free. Something like that. That's fantastic.
And you can make it at that granular level, down to just, even if you have a go-getter that plays at your field, right?
Yeah.
Just the kind of person that knows people, that's friendly, that wants to go out. If they're bringing in people regularly, if they're getting groups for you, then they're a piece of your marketing.
Yeah,
totally.
It's like a friend of mine right there.
A friend of mine who's unfortunately passed away had a field up in New Jersey, and his marketing plan was real simple. It was cheap t-shirts, and he'd make these t-shirts. It was Paintball Authority. They had a pro team at one point, even with his Paintball Authority stuff, that literally, like, the captain of the football team, he, like, on game day, you're wearing a Paintball Authority shirt.
I love that.
And he would make sure that it was before social media. He would make sure those influencers in his local community had t-shirts.
Yeah, totally.
He's like, when a high school kid runs out of t-shirts and he has 4 Paintball Authority ones, he wears another Paintball Authority t-shirt.
Yeah. And I love what you said there about giving it away, because I think that's a really big thing that we can do. We need to give this game away, and, like, if you have equipment and you can bring some people out to play, give it away, man. Let them go experience this. Let them have fun and get a taste of what paintball is all about. We need to be, spreading the good word about paintball, and, like you said, not dragging it through the mud, not, saying this, that, and the other about it because it's not, 15 years ago and people want to talk all this trash or whatever, but it's like,
if you're looking for something to complain about, you will always find it.
Totally. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is in life.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something to be wrong, you'll find it. If you're trying to say it was better because things change, it just makes you look old. The world changes. Things do not stay the same.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
Granted, you might think paintball was at its pinnacle when it was 7-man, uncapped Wild West. Yeah. When you had 3.2 lives every game. And Marcus Nielsen had 7.
Yeah, baby. Let's go, Carcass.
But at the same time, things change. And find the parts that you love. If you feel that paintball no longer does it for you, right? Mm-hmm. If you feel that, that was better when we did this, what parts of those can you bring back?
Totally.
You might not be able to bring back the free paint that your local team got back in the day because the local field owner was a moron and sponsored you. But if you want 7-man, have a local 7-man event. Or just better yet, have a practice.
Yeah. I love that.
Tell the other local team, is like, hey, we're going to come out. We're going to set the field up as close to a 7-man field as we can. Yeah. We're going to play 7-man today.
I love that.
The gun that you never adjust. Yeah. It has all these modes.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to play this point NXL uncapped. Get some.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, why do we have all these modes if we're not going to use them? Let's go. Let's use these modes, man. And I like that a lot.
we have these opportunities to play different games with these guns as well that we don't.
Yeah. And we got to
That I
boost it, we got to boost it in the right direction. We got to, like you said, man, we got to send it in the right direction. Totally.
And not just that, it doesn't have to just be one direction.
Yeah.
That we have so many options, and but that's a good point. That I don't think there's anybody in paintball right now whose job it is to promote paintball.
Yeah.
Not one.
Damn. That's crazy.
As big as our industry is, we don't have a single person that is trying to get paintball on to grow, to make it cooler, to make it more fun, to look at how we play, to go to these fields and give them good advice. Like I'm sure the big guys like GI, if a field needs help or like sends out a sales rep to go look for a day. But there's nobody in paintball that is trying to simply grow this game.
Yeah,
Well,
you're looking at him.
I beg to differ just a little bit, simply because it's unfortunately it's just on such a smaller scale. And honestly, John.
But okay, so maybe the better way is there's nobody that's paid to do it.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nobody that's their only job, right? To where their only focus is to do that, and that's the difference. We're spread thin with so many different things. When we make it to a field, we do our best to do it. And I wish, like you said, some of this is on the back of other pros. I wish more pros were stepping up to go to their local fields, do clinics, make sure things are being done and ran the right way, and took it upon themselves,
So when you go to a local field, do you look at their rec ball side at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you look at their
every single time? Every time, John.
Fantastic.
When I go to a field, I usually stay with the field owner, and we keep in contact. I go to the same fields year after year, right? It's not a one and done kind of thing. And
but that's testament to you then.
Yeah.
If they want you back every time, if it's a good value to them, if you're a boost to their business, the fact that you're getting repeat business, that's a clear indicator you're doing something right.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it's important because, like you said, there really isn't one person that's doing it. And I've, Tyler as well. This is why we are in business together with this platform. It's not just to do the podcast. We actually have big dreams and goals in growing the sport of paintball and being that outlet that can push the right message and connect with fields on a bigger level than either one of us ever had, because the future of the sport does depend on players stepping up and doing that if nobody else is going to.
Yeah. So who does it best? Who in the pro division that's not on Dynasty? Who's the best ambassador?
I mean, Ronnie Dizon is a great.
Ronnie's a champ.
Ronnie's really good with videos. Yeah. So I guess that's a little different space, right? He doesn't go and work with fields, but just a pure ambassador, Ronnie Dizon for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who
100%.
Yeah. But I see what you're doing here, because there's not many.
Oh,
there's
sure.
not many.
There's not. Yeah. And
it's a short list.
We openly call players out on this, as a matter of fact, because again, pro players think that it's not cool to speak up on Instagram and push the message. But listen, we're not NBA players. We're not NFL players.
Yeah.
It's not a multi-billion-dollar industry we play for. We are the sport. And so if you can't own that, then get out of the pro division. Let some new kids that want to come up and are hungry. Matty Boy, maybe Matty Boy does it better.
Oh yeah,
not even
Matty
pro.
Boy.
Kid plays team boy.
So there's value in there, right?
Yeah, big time.
Like there's value for players, for pro players to do more that are outside the confines of those of that chalk outline, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that we don't talk about, that we don't see, that we don't. There's nobody that goes to new players as they come up and say, "Hey, here's the top 20 things that you should be doing off the field.
Yeah.
Here's standard operating procedures. Here's some of the basics. Here's some of the mistakes we used to make that we don't make anymore." Teams don't even do that.
Damn, that's huge, man. And you're right. And that's, hopefully through this show and through our conversations that we're having here, we can start to nurture those things and get that type of progression going.
I think like as we talked about with X Factor's value to JT earlier.
Yeah.
Pro players and teams have value.
Totally.
I think I will strongly argue against anybody that thinks they don't.
Yeah.
However, and sometimes it's because they hook players so well. Richmond got me with that at one point.
Yeah.
that I was talking to him about, what do pro players do? Like, how can they do more? And he was like, "Well, it hooked you." I was like, "Yeah, fair enough."
You got me.
He got me with that one, because I think I was teasing Richmond because Richmond was like, "Well, the Halo, I was behind that," because he was the money behind the Halo. He's like, "The Matrix shooting really fast, I was behind that." So I was like, he's like, "X-Ball, I was behind that." I was like, "Oh, So you're the guy that ruined paintball with those 3 things.
That's hilarious.
And so he got me back instantly with the but being playing pro hooked you. Like you've been an ambassador for this for years, whether you want to be or not.
Mm-hmm. And as while we're here, I want to talk about your pro career. When, like, seriously, because you played pro for how many years?
Just a couple.
Yeah.
I
remember you out there, and you guys were giving it hell out there. I loved it.
So I played with Farside so my first national tournament with a real team was actually playing pro.
Damn.
Farside won the amateur division in 97 and then turned pro in 98. And I joined the team for their first pro event. Wow. And it was cool because like we beat Avalanche with Rocky and Lasoya.
Oh, wow.
That's big.
Right before their height.
Yeah.
They had the next year they won their first pro event. And then I got an ear beating from Ed all the way back, about how 9 times out of 10 they would beat us.
Yeah. More cheese, baby. Get a double cheese.
That's what was that? That was actually on the Mounds field at Phil's Field at where the Iron City is.
Oh wow. Crazy.
That we played Avalanche on those Mounds fields with Rocky and Chris running over mounds. And
oh wow.
So that was my first the first time I went pro with Farside. Mm-hmm. We didn't do well. And we dropped down to the amateur division the next year. Mm-hmm. Let's see, we went pro again. 2003, we won a pro spot. With Evil Factory, we won Huntington Beach. We won New Jersey.
Yeah.
We went pro and lost guys in the off season. Which is never good. Never good. I guess we won it in 2004. 2003, we won 2 events, but didn't win the series. Mm-hmm. We didn't even play the final event. Dave Bain's Cap team won the series that year.
Yeah. Man, what a team that was. Oof.
Yeah. Crazy. And they just got stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
So I played 2005, 6, and 7 as pro.
Yeah.
And then in the off season 2007, we sold our spot to Damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had and I guess I was invited to come to Damage, but that was that was flying to practice and everything else and going with guys that I knew and liked, but that I thought they were good.
It's a mission for sure. I played on Tampa Bay Damage all the way from California, and it was a trek. I was flying out there so much. It was crazy. Yeah.
And so, oh, wow. Okay. So as far as memories, I remember a time, in fact, it's probably the first time you and I ever talked, Tyler.
I remember this. Yes. When I was broken down, I was like having a hard time at a tournament. Yeah.
So Tyler was sitting by himself on a hill.
Yeah.
Like your second year as pro early on, because you'd walked on a 7-man field. I guess it had to be a couple years in because you were playing 7-man and you wouldn't have been allowed to play 7-man.
Yeah.
I think you were like 16.
Yeah.
And you hadn't filled your air as you walked on the field.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I know this story.
And then you did it a second time. The same.
Oh no.
I feel like you've done that recently too. I was just watching old footage, Tyler, of Chicago 2017. You didn't fill your tank the first point against Houston Heat.
I like to challenge myself. You know what I mean? I like to challenge myself.
But Tyler was sitting on a hill.
Yeah.
And I knew of you, but I never talked. And I just went, don't know what possessed me to this day, because I'm definitely a pretty quiet person. And
no, you just saw me having a rough time. And it was, I think that, what tournament was that? Was that Denver?
I want to say it was Denver because it had those weird hills.
That's right.
They were right by field.
Yeah. So it was like the year before I won that Denver. So this was like the year before I came back and had that big show out against the Ironman, and we won that one. But yeah, I don't think. Oh man, yeah.
You hadn't won a pro event yet.
Yeah.
And you were just like, I saw all these people. Like I could have changed the game. We lost because of me. Like taking the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you were the next face of this game.
Yeah, I remember this, man. Yeah.
You're not there yet, but you're about to be.
Yeah.
And it's not going to come down to one time not filling a tank. It's not going to come down to one time I didn't snap shoot. It's a career of it.
Mhm.
And I never thought that you would have stuck with it this long
Yeah.
and staying at this level.
Yeah.
But you definitely proved me right that you
Yeah.
are one of the faces of paintball.
Dude, I love that.
And I love that you're doing it off the field now as well.
Absolutely, John. I'll never forget that conversation, man. You like lifted my spirits big time there, and like helped me to process the information a little bit differently. And you know, for all I know, that could be a cornerstone moment that kept me moving in the direction that I am to be sitting here right now having this conversation with you.
Now it's just this little tiny piece
but I remember
of the career that is Tyler.
I remember it vividly. I remember the conversation, and it definitely stuck with me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's why words are important. Anytime you get a chance to boost somebody up, it can go a long way, you know?
And I'm not good at that game. As my friends will attest, I am much more likely to say something snarky or mean or tease them about it relentlessly.
Yeah, for sure. And
but I'm a firm believer in that you don't beat on people that are down.
Yeah. No, and he saw me having a tough day too, dude. Yeah, for sure.
And then that next year, that's fantastic.
Yeah, dude. And then we came home with a big trophy. Yeah, that's the best.
First of many big trophies.
That's right. Come home with. Yeah, baby. Let's go. And more to come. I promise you. We're going to keep these things going.
Well, you guys, so Dynasty, like I've been a big Dynasty fan for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was really happy. We talked about films that I was happy that Eclipse got me for a couple seconds in the 15 video.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I loved it, I guess, a couple years before playing against Marcelo, mind you.
Yeah.
When you were on Dynasty playing there were those 2 back-to-back tournaments that you guys won in X-Ball.
Yeah.
Where you had those incredible games against Infamous.
That's right. Yeah.
Those come from behind.
Dude,
you running through sabotaging, like just taking the heat with your dive.
Dude, I dove in the air and shot one ball and shot that guy that opened up the move for Kyle. If I didn't hit that one ball, he would have shot Kyle. I was like, watching that video, I'm like, what the hell? I can't even, like, it's just crazy. Yeah.
But those feats of athleticism and skill, and you're asking how paintball becomes something cool. Yeah. We watch basketball for those moments, right?
Totally.
We watch other sports for those incredible feats of athleticism that a normal person can't do, that they might aspire to it. He might be at the basketball court across the street from me yelling swish as he airballs another one. But those guys to aspire to, those moments, the more we can show off that athleticism in paintball, that
create superheroes.
It's Maddie always talks about it so well. Create those heroes, those superheroes. Those are the moments, those are the things that could take paintball to that next level.
Totally.
And those are the things that I'm not sure the current version of X-Ball does. Right now, you guys are too good at holding lanes. You guys are too good at stopping those amazing moves.
Yeah. I know it's changed a lot. And like you said, like the way that Oliver was able to navigate a field, it was just a different time, a whole different energy, right? It was crazy.
And people weren't as good at, they weren't as dedicated to doing their job.
Yeah. There was much less discipline, much less skill. What I will say, though, and that's something I do love about the NXL, especially the last 2 seasons, they've changed the bunker kits. They've added bunkers, made the field a little smaller. Moves are being rewarded again. And you are seeing some of these moves because there's just such small gaps. It's much harder to hold lanes than like 3 years ago. It got super boring, you know?
And I see people talking all the time about how we should go back to those old layouts. I'm like, you don't understand how much better those people are.
Yeah. It would be horrible.
These guys could hit the guy literally 100% of the time going from that move to the next.
It would be horrible.
It would be impossible.
I remember in like the early X-Ball that you had like 5 bunkers on each side.
20 balls a second.
And you wonder how anybody ever got anywhere.
I know. I was like, what the hell?
And can you imagine you guys going back and playing that? Nobody would ever be able to cross those.
No way.
That's true. And I do I think it's super cool. There's so many bunkers on the field now, so it does promote a lot of movements. But in like 7-man, you would have a couple car washes. We got like 6 car washes out there now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think we went oftentimes when something changes, the needle swings too far. The pendulum swings too far. So right now, I think we have too many big bunkers.
Take 2 of them away.
Whereas a couple years ago, we had. Yeah, and I've harassed Trozen about this many times.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's nothing in your rules that says you have to put all these huge bunkers on the field.
Oh, wow.
Take 2 of them away. Rotate more.
Take one or two away.
Time.
Yeah.
If you change it up a little bit, if they did blind layouts occasionally,
Yeah.
if they did limited paint occasionally.
Yeah.
The cool part about our league and our sport is that we don't, I say our league for the NXL, but the cool part about it is that we don't have to do things exactly the same every time.
Yeah. Totally.
They literally could say, by the way, the second event of the year and the fourth event by vote are going to be a blind layout.
Yeah, dude, I think that's such a great idea. And you got to play the game, baby. You got to know what aspect you're playing, and it's a whole new style every time.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that simply because I do know how many fields truly rely on a layout. They
a lot of fields do, but talk to those same fields and ask them back in the day, did they used to have people practicing before those 2 weeks? And they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still. I mean, how far back we going? We've had layouts for decades. We've had layouts for a long time, but the fact is, a lot of people don't play until those 2 weeks before now.
That is, yeah, you're not wrong there. They definitely give it their all on those 2 weeks as opposed to drawing it out. You're right. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that these are the answers. Yeah. I'm just saying that one of the beauties of paintball is that we have different, that we can go about things a different way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
we have so many
options. Keep it interesting, change things up, keep the game fun.
I loved
exciting.
It. Mm-hmm. So we talked about the Dynasty movie 15.
Yeah.
And that was talking about how Dynasty had won an event 15 years in a row.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, like, while I was giving my little interview, because my interview was literally just 5 minutes of Dan Napoli saying, hey, do you have time? I want to do this over. Oh, we can't do it. We'll just sit down in the parking lot.
There we go.
And so sat down in the parking lot. And while we were doing it, you guys walked by.
Oh,
and you had just won the limited paint event.
Okay.
Yeah. At World Cup.
So you guys had won limited paint. And so I teased Dan. I was like, hey.
This counts.
Hey, Dan, does this count?
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck, no, it doesn't count. And Alex was walking by too. It's like,
yeah.
That counts, Dan. It counts. Yeah. Like screaming at him.
And for everybody who couldn't see his mouth there, he was saying, F you, this counts, F you.
But it was hilarious but it makes me think that it wouldn't be that hard. Yeah. You could do it, especially considering you can make the pros rules different. If everybody else wants to play a certain way, that's fine. Yeah. But the pros can be used as this example or as this way to show how all the different ways paintball can be played that we don't.
And that's why I love this. We could spitball ideas and just have fun creating. Like, none of this is locked in stone. We're just having fun talking paintball here. You know what I mean? And
but you got to realize the NXL isn't too many steps beyond that.
That's right.
People think that it would be hard to enact change in the NXL, but it's not. Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is that just a couple people can make decisions and make decisions fast.
That's right.
And one of the advantages of the NXL in its current form is Tom will listen to people.
That's right.
If you come up with an idea that's better than what he does and can prove it or can demonstrate it, there's room to change. I don't think the current version of X-Ball is the final form of paintball.
You're right, because we got the sidearm coming next. That's, you know what I'm saying?
And you absolutely got to get the split deck. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, for sure. That split deck is a marriage of convenience.
It kills the athleticism. It completely kills the athleticism.
We just do split deck because we can run more games.
That's right. Yeah,
100%. There is no game advantage. There's no any other advantage aside from maybe some older people can play.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily what you want for the pro division. Maybe that's why we have the oldest pro division that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Probably since Woods Ball.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Absolutely.
We do.
Man, I love it. I love it so much.
I'm not trying to take anything away from you veterans now.
Yeah,
you guys are the old guys. But
just hit 30. Tyler's 31.
I'm just a young buck still.
It's Ryan you got to worry about.
I'm always worried about Ryan.
Yeah.
But no, I would love to see some 18-year-olds, some 17-year-olds. I can't even imagine a 14-year-old playing now. Can you?
I know. That's what I've always like. We have these kids that are coming up out of BKI and like some different spots that they have the potential if they do apply themselves to be that. And it's so exciting because we haven't seen that in so long. And this is the first time in the last few years that I've really seen a hunger of that youth coming into the game.
Absolutely.
I would love to see it. I'd love to more under 16, more under
Yes.
U19. So Team USA
Yeah.
put a team in U19 for the first time ever.
Yeah, we picked them from the BKI combine. So that's how we select the U19 team. It's amazing.
I played with the old guys, with the over 40 guys.
Yeah.
And so when we went out to practice, like we only had one practice.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to practice the girls in the U19. And then we also practiced Keith DeWitt's team, the Hurricanes, and some other guys out there. But I expected something. I'll be honest. I expected something different from the U19 guys.
Yeah.
I expected them with limited paint and young legs.
Yeah.
I expected them to be at every 50 every time, and was amazed that we were at more 50s more often, faster.
Well, that's why they lost, John.
Well, we did too.
I know. I saw both of your guys' games, but the U19's team literally lost in the finals because of having an advantage.
Wouldn't go.
Just sitting there. Yeah.
I know. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, they were definitely close.
Yeah.
And they were definitely good, but they weren't with the team that I expected to see.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I went to this practice wondering.
They were coached by Greg Pauly, AC Dallas. Go to 5 spots, cross it up, baby.
Well, at least they had a coach.
Oh yeah. Greg's an amazing coach, by the way. I'm not taking anything away from Greg. I know his style, you know.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because if you watched Pauly play back in the day,
I know.
Animal.
He was a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
And with
he was literally he literally played like Todd Adamson did. He was a bigger guy. Yeah. He was even way bigger than Todd was, but he was the first guy through over and over and over again, especially in 5-man. It was nuts.
Yeah. Go get him, baby.
He was always the first guy across the 50.
I love that. Yeah.
But you're right. AC Dallas plays a very different style than that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I went to that practice. One, I expected us to lose a bunch. The U19 guys, I expected Frank Connell to pick a fight with the girls. I expected all four.
Oh, Frank.
But I was amazed that we were making those spots before them.
Yeah.
And I still to this day can't understand it.
Well,
because
so here, honestly, paintball, no matter what, it's a game.
Well, hold up. Before you get to that, let me finish this thought. And maybe it's because they've only known the kind of paintball where you did hold lanes.
Yeah.
They've only known the kind of airball where it's almost defensive first.
Yeah.
That you stop the other guy from getting the good spots before you try and take them yourself.
Yeah, man, you got to attack. You got to go get that. Yeah, you got to take it.
You have to have the confidence too to go and make those moves. And again, paintball, until across the board, it's nothing but football level athletes that are making the same types of decisions as the pros are now. Pros are going to be able to play well into their 40s, you know, because as long as you keep yourself in shape and you can, you know, make pretty quick fills and you're not totally hindered out there physically. It's a game of decisions, you know, and the gun is the great equalizer. And, you know, that is the beautiful part of our game, is that you can play it well into your 40s, you know, at a high level. You know, you really can.
Totally.
I think Ryan is playing the best paintball maybe of his career. Truly, the last couple of years, he's had some outstanding events. And you look at Archie. Archie's playing the best he has ever played. And he's the oldest he's ever been.
Those would have been the first. Yep, those would have been the first two examples I used as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's one of those sports that the older you get, the more experience you get, the more situations you see, and as long as you're not totally hindered, you're not trying to outrun a cornerback. You know, you're just making better decisions.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see this kind of thing go into that marketing. The fact that Tyler was a 14-year-old phenom.
Yeah.
The fact that Ryan, that he plays next to Ryan now, who's 38.
Yep. 30.
Yeah.
So
32, 38.
Wow.
Something
That's
like that.
crazy. Yeah.
That the fact is, it's the ridiculous equalizer for sure.
Yeah.
But it's been one of the beauties of this, that you can play it for so long. You can play it so differently through the different years as you grow 2 feet, Tyler.
Yeah, I know. Cause I remember seeing Ryan when I was just a kid starting, like Ryan was established, you know what I mean? They were doing it already. Yeah, it's crazy.
And you were shorter than him.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Now he's scared. He's running scared.
100%. Well, damn fellas, we just did.
All right.
Go ahead.
Before we get out of here, I'll show you the pile of jerseys that I put here. I put
Okay.
4 or 5.
You were
There we go.
us this whole time.
There we go.
You got to sandbag a little bit. Like I said, my plan was distraction.
Okay, perfect.
You have to go to the YouTube channel to see the jersey collection. If nothing else, if you did not see the gun collection, I know the jerseys are going to show is going to be off the chart. Don't let it down.
All right, so let's see who we got.
I was going to ask him what his favorite jerseys are, and this is perfect. Here we go.
There we go.
These aren't the favorites. These are the ones that were on top.
Oh, okay. All right.
These are the ones that were easy to grab.
And they're probably going to be just showstoppers. You know what I mean?
There are a couple good ones because one of the things that we haven't talked about is there's some teams that have come up and faded away.
That's right.
And
Chaos. Art Chaos was one of them.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, there it is.
Fedorov Art Chaos jersey right here. Damn.
Yeah.
Yep. Good one.
Yeah.
But it's squad.
And that's the style from their 1 year in the PSP.
Dude, that team was power.
They did get regulated down to the Challengers division, though. Let's not forget about that.
They played an event and didn't win a game.
Yeah. Damn.
But then
they lost all 4 games, and then they lost their regulation game.
Oof.
Yep. And then they came into World Cup though and dominated.
Two events in a row.
6-0 in the finals.
Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They won the event before, and then they won at World Cup. It was as bad a beating as when those same guys were on Russian Legion and Aftershock.
Yeah.
The only reason like Aftershock had a 40-second point was because the ref let Brad McCurley just out of pity play with a pack hit.
Russian Legion in 2009 beat Tyler and myself on Aftermath in the finals in Chicago 7-1. They just gave us a beating, a total beating. You know,
monsters. You animals.
When they figure you out, they're so many steps ahead with their coaching staff. When they figure you out,
and that's so. And I love that. I love that you can get that. They can figure out what you're going to do and how to stop it. It's one of the reasons I liked listening to Losoya announce games.
Yeah.
Is because Losoya would sit there, and I remember listening to him at one point. He's like, it's been a little bit since they did an X play. Let's look for an X play this next point.
Boom.
Yeah.
X-play.
Lo and behold, they ran to the 2 or 3 points in a row. He predicted what a team was going to do. Yeah. Just off the top of his head, probably half blitzed out of his mind.
Yeah. Dude, we cannot wait to have him on the show soon.
Dude.
Yeah.
He has always been
an animal. I love him. Marcelo and I have some good stories with old Chris. He's an animal.
So that's another team that has come and gone.
Wow.
Can lead that in so graceful.
Dude.
Miami.
So
this is
Chris Losoya. Damn, dude, that's when they were scary. They're
terrifying.
Yeah.
That's that iconic yellow Losoya jersey with the 6'9" on the back. He's coming to eat your lunch.
That's a gun I didn't break out.
Whoa!
I have Chris's prototype Intimidator.
No shit. Wow.
With the back of it so sharp, like if you put your face, it would mess you up.
Yeah.
And so it's what's different from it and the production ones. The production ones got chopped off shorter.
Ah, wow. So you got that razor sharp one.
I've got the razor sharp one. I have Chris's actual one, and I know it was Chris's because he ruined it at the tech table.
It's got his blood on it.
Yeah, literally, they let him wrench on his own gun and let him puncture the ram to the body.
There we go.
And then afterwards, they were like, "We'll just take that back."
Yeah. Send that this way. Dude, that's awesome. I love that jersey. That's amazing.
So not quite you guys, but the predecessor.
There we go.
Nice.
Iron Kids with that neon green and the big Iron Kids and the old dye JT cap logos on the back. Wow. What year would that one be?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. 2000.
Damn.
Because
right around
you got to realize that they were so far away from me, right?
Yeah.
And they were I knew of them through the Paint magazine guys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was friends with the guys from Paint, and they were just all about it. Like, I think they went to maybe the Hawaii event.
Yeah.
And they came back and they're like, these kids are they're the next thing.
Damn, that's crazy.
We think we're okay at this, but they're going to be the next real thing.
Yeah. Wow, that jersey's a piece of history right there. Go to YouTube and check this out on Play the Game. That's the name of the channel.
All right, and then I guess we went with the theme of teams that went away.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow. Another iconic squad right there. Who you got?
And then
T Hump.
Tyler Hump.
Let's go, T. Yeah.
The contract killer.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's a great jersey right there. Their last
He was for
they won
sure like
06 World Cup, right? Last event?
05.
05. Okay.
So that was the first year Russian Legion played X-Ball
Okay.
yeah.
in the US. They lost their first game to somebody that they wouldn't normally lose to, and that eludes me at the moment. If I looked at the team list, I could figure it out.
Mhm.
Romper stomped everybody the entire year. I'm not sure they lost another match.
Damn.
And then they lost in the finals
Oh,
to Trauma.
Oh no. Yeah.
Like had the most incredible season. And it was worse than that the way that they did the NXL back then, there was only one winner.
Right.
That's right.
There was not an event winner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they got nothing
Yeah.
because they lost those last two. I think it was the best of 3.
Yeah.
And Trauma just had it.
It was like glorified practice for a while. Like when I was in the NXL with the Oakland Assassins, like we would go to tournaments and you would just play your games and then you're like, all right, see you guys at the next one. Yeah.
Well, it was weird. And you guys were another team that was not quite robbed, but you guys should have won those first couple of years.
Yeah.
You guys were the best team there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the All-Americans would squeak past.
Yep.
Like the All-Americans were the second best team.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. I hear these stories all day. Yeah, for sure. I know. Yeah.
And then since we're talking about that.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, wow. This is a Yeah. So this is like, wow, Bob Long's Ironman Renegade old camo jersey. That is
and it's
crazy.
Bob's.
Oh shit, no way. Damn.
It's Bob's that he played in once and was nicked right away.
Whoa. That's crazy. I've seen that. I think I've seen that jersey in like a photo or something. I don't know. Maybe
you possibly old Trauma Head videos or something.
Yeah.
Because they wore that particular Renegade.
Wow, that's crazy. I love that.
Dude, I'm sure you have such an epic collection, man.
Yeah, he does.
There are a couple good ones.
Yeah.
And then just because it's the rookie, it's not a dynasty jersey.
Yeah.
Should have ended with a dynasty jersey, but the last one. But a rookie jersey.
Whoa. Number 1. Okay, it's an old JT.
Right. That's Dave Youngblood.
Oh, whoa.
No?
Youngblood had stopped by now.
Okay.
And this is the rookie jersey. Youngblood would have played for years before this one.
Yeah, okay.
Is it the Carcass? Who is this?
Oh no, you guys can do better than that. think of who would be the rookie from around then.
Yeah, Oliver.
Rookie.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. He took
Dude,
Dave's
I've never
number.
even seen that jersey.
Yeah, I remember that. He took Dave's number. That's epic, dude. Wow.
Oliver was and rightfully so, huh? Number 1 with the old Iron Man slime green jersey. Yeah. Amazing.
Yep, he had a jersey before this one, so it's not his rookie event jersey.
Wow.
But I never even seen that one.
I haven't seen.
Hopefully, Oliver's mom has it locked away.
Yeah. Damn, for real, huh? I've never, honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen that jersey right there. That was crazy.
I haven't seen it.
That was a PB Nation find. A kid posted it on PB Nation for sale for lots, didn't sell it. And then 5 or 6 years ago, when I started collecting jerseys, I searched and found it and sent 30 messages in one night to different people.
Oh my God.
Of, hey, did you sell this? Hey, did you sell this? Hey, did you sell this?
Yeah.
And that was the one that hadn't sold. And he's like, well, I wanted this back then.
Dude, you hit the lotto, won a couple scratchers or what, dude? You're like,
yeah, seriously.
No, I didn't say I spend money well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an
dude, good for you, man. Honestly, good for you, dude. This is all timeless stuff that we need. And we know that it's in the right hands. Like it's, there's no better person to care for these types of things but you, John.
Oh, I love that they're guys like Vic that gets stuff from you guys.
Gamboa,
yep.
Dude.
Gamboa is the man.
I love that they're collectors out there, that they're guys that, for people that don't know, he is part of your pit crew.
Yeah.
He's actually our assistant coach.
Yep.
Okay. The assistant coach and also probably the number 1 Dynasty fan and the number 1 memorabilia collector.
Yes. Dude, he's big dog. He's the man. Victor is a cornerstone of Dynasty these days, and we're so appreciative for everything he does for the organization. He's amazing. We love Vic.
Absolutely.
He's the man.
It's neat to see the people that have collect specific things that are that do this for the love. That
absolutely.
Like there's this weird piece of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. Seriously. It's a deep heritage, man. And you guys have some things in your collections that will never be made again, obviously, and are just like timeless pieces for paintball. Yeah, it's amazing.
And that's another reason why we're so passionate about this show, right? We want to tell these stories so that they carry on and are cemented and industry forever, and kids that get into the game can listen to the show. That would be awesome. And they're like, man, I did not understand the roots, because there's really nothing else like it. There's nothing going on telling these stories that well. I just don't see it. So.
Yeah, it wasn't until preparing for ways that I could avoid the limelight on your show. And
well, buddy,
I thought about that. You guys are two different guys that came up at a super young age.
Yeah.
And had those similarities with your parents that were super supportive.
Yeah.
That played as well, that you guys went into the pro leagues so young. Yeah. And I still remember Shane Pisana talking about Aftermath. He's like, man, they're going to be a great pro team. And I was like, you're dumb. He's like, what? I was like, they're going to get picked apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next time I looked, Marcelo and Mouse playing on the Ironman.
Yeah.
Yep.
That so it is interesting.
If we would have stayed together, man, and we did kind of all come back together for a couple years there in the pro division, and made a little bit of a run, but
that Chicago event where you guys ended up fourth was nuts.
Second. That's what I'm talking about.
Second?
That's when the Russians beat us. Yeah, that's when the Russians beat us in the finals. We took down the Philly Americans in an amazing overtime point in the semifinals, and we just honestly,
I must have left.
You're like, oh, they're playing the Americans. They lost. Where I'm out.
Yeah.
But no, you guys had an incredible event. That event that everybody did not take you seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you had Damien playing with you guys at that point. I can't remember if that was his Aftermath run.
You're thinking 2010. That was 2010. Okay. So I was actually on Infamous that year. We won that event.
Yes.
Yeah. So back-to-back years. I'm talking about 2009. Damien was not on the team when I was on the team.
Mm-hmm. Yes, different group.
Yeah. I know. That was so much fun, dude. I played in that Chicago event on the Aftermath squad. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wandered over, and I think that was my first UWL event.
Okay.
There we go.
What they had at Badlands. I literally showed up with because just trying to either sneak on Bobby's team or Rennick's team.
Yep.
Dude.
Just hoping that they didn't have 10.
Get in there. You got to get in where you fit in, man. Have some fun no matter how you can do it. That's what it's all about, man.
and play the game, however you can.
That's it, dude. Yeah.
John,
absolutely.
What's your move moving forward? I know in the beginning you had a website that you kind of shared with people. How can people, find you?
Yeah.
Keep up?
Nothing big right now. I made the most beginner mistake. I came on something without something to promote.
No, it's a PB Retro. That's what you were talking about, right?
Yes. I did a limited run of JT goggles.
Yes.
But we sold out the whole run in 12 days, and I'm not going to do them again.
Okay.
That they're going to be limited for people.
I love that. And we can expect you to do some more PB Retro limited run type stuff?
We'll see. Yes, it's got some things on there.
Nice.
So tell me how long before Dynasty's wearing flexes again?
Oh boy.
Wrong people to ask, my friend. You gotta go to upper management, Call Karen, aka Green Man.
I will always I will always think of Dynasty as that JT team, because they were just that iconic.
Yeah. Yep. I know, man. Those were.
If we were to wear flexes, would Ryan roll it up?
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, especially for every practice. They probably yell at him for the event.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And then before we get off, I just want to say a huge shout out to Richard, one of our supporters. He made a D4 team, so he just got picked up for a D4 team.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We're super stoked for him out there. And for tomorrow, we're picking the winner for the jersey for Harmony or the shirt.
Wednesday.
Well, they'll be here.
Sure.
Yeah, they'll be hearing it. We're gonna drop the show tomorrow, Tuesday, and then they'll hear it on Wednesday. So look out for that. And John, man, we just absolutely love you. Thank you so much for everything you do for the game and for coming on the show and having some fun, shooting the breeze with us and talking about paintball.
Yeah, man.
Fair enough. Take care, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, bud. Peace, guys. Later.
Well, that was a fantastic show with John Dresser. Thank you so much to John and all of our listeners. But wow, what amazing stories. It was really nostalgic. It was awesome to kind of go back in time and relive the start of my career, the start of Tyler's career, really relive a lot of the moments from the early parts of the game that got all of us hooked. And John has been around playing for over 30 years now, and that's just really fantastic. He's seen the evolution of our sport and had some great insight. So we can't thank him enough. Listeners, we can't thank you guys enough. You guys truly are the heart and soul of this whole thing. We hope that you guys are enjoying it. If you guys would like, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. Check out our website. You could become a supporter of the show. We have a little bit of merchandise on there, and that is a site that is brought to you by Rusty Glaze. He owns Constant Pursuit. Rusty is just a dominator designer. He does a lot of the websites for the different paintball companies, and if you guys need a website done, he could definitely help you. It's very user-friendly. He offers multiple services, so he can manage the site for you, so you basically never have to do anything, or he can hand you the keys to the kingdom, and you can navigate and do as you please with it. And again, it's very easy, much easier than your traditional WordPress platform. So, Tyler and I, minus all the really difficult stuff, we can basically navigate the site and change things as needed and do everything on our own after Rusty built us an amazing base. So head over to ptgpaintball.com. You could check out his work, and you could also head over to constantpursuit.com to check out Rusty's work. See if you need a service. If you're starting your own business, a website is always a way to be professional and provide the best service to your customers. Other than that, guys and gals, we can't thank you enough. Huge shout out to our Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. We are so thankful for you guys and everybody that listens and continues to tune in. And I'm sure we'll see you guys very, very soon.